All right.
We
you
will
sure?
be, so just check. Just give it 10, 15 seconds.
Yes, it looks
check it.
like it's online now.
Yeah, we're online. I can
Dude,
see us.
I don't know. Are you doing like rails of coke before the show sometimes, Stu? Or you come in here,
Definitely,
you're
totally.
like, chicken, are you doing it? Are you sure? All right, no,
Here's some
okay.
coke.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. All right. What do you like? All right.
Wow, what are you doing?
Well, that's what I was asking you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All
fine.
right. Are we ready to start?
Pretty much. I think so. I think so.
Jenny, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
Here it comes, people.
Welcome you
Maybe
to
people
the
should
Veteran
think before they
Gamers.
speak.
Juju, Ginny, other fellas will tell you about every single game that you play this week. Reviews and Juke story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Juke with the soundbite saviors.
Do not give these guys things that make sounds.
It's the Veteran Gamers. It's the Veteran Gamers. It's the Veteran Gamers.
I'm just gonna tell you straight to your face that what you're saying right now is very boring.
Welcome, please, enormous
Rip that
genitals.
console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
I won't change my mind, because I don't have to. Because I'm an American.
Hello and welcome. Welcome. Hello and welcome.
He said the thing
welcome.
wrong.
I did. Hello and welcome to episode 682, by the way, not 681 of the Veteran
It's
Gamers.
862. Ah,
682.
right. You
Not
said the
681.
word wrong. Remember when
Yeah,
he
I
said
did.
welcome?
I
That
said
was
welcome.
ridiculous.
Do you remember that? I
Oh
said
my
welcome.
God.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm Duke.
I'm Stu. Welcome.
Remember when the show ended?
I know, yeah. Welcome.
Oh,
Welcome
we ended
to the
already?
show.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Oh, wouldn't that be a blessed relief?
It will be.
Yeah,
Blessed
we're
day.
not military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle.
Mm. Yeah, I would live.
Mm. And you can count on more elucidating conversation like that
Yeah,
to come.
indeed.
It's about video games, people. It's about video
Yeah, it is.
games. We
Well, I mean,
stream-
eventually it will be. It's
we
not
stream
yet, but it will
live.
be
We're
at
on the
some point.
YouTubes. We're on the Twitch.
On
You can
Twitch.
see our
Yeah.
face. We're in the wrong
Yeah.
order at the moment.
Gadzorp.
Mm,
Now we're in
Yeah.
the right order. So we're here.
we're here.
Get used to it.
Yeah, we're not really queer in the sense of like gay, bisexual, lesbian, transgender, or anything like that. But we are odd. And
Speak,
so in
for,
that
speak
sense,
for yourself. Speak for
you have
yourself.
something to tell us, Stu?
We're an
Um,
odd threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
I've
Very
always
strange.
I
been
mean, I'm
accused-
I'm heteronormative, but I'm not heteronormative. I am heterosexual, but I am interested in challenging heteronormativity. So in that sense, I am, sort of queer in small
I
ways.
have been accused of being in touch with my feminine side on more than one
Okay,
occasion.
that by itself doesn't necessarily make one queer.
No, but I'm in touch, I guess.
That's great.
Just-
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Are we? Sorry. Are we getting
Professional
competitive?
broadcasters, no.
Are we
I'm-
getting competitive about how gay
I'm
the other one is?
Metrosexual.
No, I'm just.
I'm
I'm
moisturised.
more gayer than you.
No, okay. First of all, you made fun of me last year for using lotions too, so I don't see how you're now claiming to be metrosexual. That just doesn't make any sense.
That's true.
I use, face scrub.
All right, we should move on. Does somebody have a story?
My favorite time.
Yes,
It's
actually.
story
Go
time.
ahead, Stu. Let's hear.
It's
the story.
less of a story, a more...
and more of a rambling.
No,
jumble
more of a
words. It
rant.
doesn't really go
It's
anywhere.
more of a
It's
rant.
less of a
It's-
story.
rant.
It's more of
A
a
rant.
68-minute rant.
I hate...
Yeah, okay.
Right,
I got a rant theme here.
Don't make me break my foot off in your ass!
I hate January for one reason and one reason
'Cause
only.
it's my
Can you
birthday month?
guess?
It's your worst.
Yeah, well, apart
month.
from it's your birthday month, but can you guess why I hate January so
Because you hate the
much?
starts of things, and
It's
it's
'cause
the
it's-
start of
No.
a new year.
cold.
Is
No.
it because of who it's named after, which is
No.
the is it Norse god?
Yeah, but
What are you talking
the
about? The
Roman
Nor-
god of all beginnings, Janus. It was a Roman god.
Yeah,
It's named after
definitely not.
Janus.
That why? Yeah, Janus.
yeah,
Joplin.
Janet. It's made
Yeah,
named
we
after
need to
Janet.
name all these like times and slots of Janus. What should we do? I think we should name one after me.
But no,
Well, I
that's
don't know
not
if
the
that's how the
reason.
gods sounded
how
like
they
in
sound,
Rome,
Duke.
but, I mean,
That's
maybe
totally
they
how they
did.
sound.
All right, why do you hate January, Stu?
Because it is a month of pointless fucking magazines to collect. I fucking
What?
hate it.
Talking about
So
Pointless
basically, in
magazines.
the UK, right, every year in January, magazine makers think it's the time to push these fucking pointless, super expensive magazines on people, right? And I'm going to give you the
Are you
prime
talking
example.
about like at supermarket checkouts and stuff?
No, I'm going to give you the example,
Dude,
right?
I have
Okay,
no
go
idea
ahead.
what he's
On the
talking about.
telly,
Neither
no,
do I.
on
Let's
the
learn.
Well, let's tell you.
Okay.
On the telly the other night, there was an advert for the Batmobile Tumbler magazine, right? Build your own fucking Batmobile Tumbler.
Like the website Tumblr?
No, the fucking Batmobile Tumbler, you
Like
dick.
a washing machine tumbler?
No, the
You
fucking
talking about
Bat
like
car,
gymnasts?
the Batmobile, right? And
Right.
you
I know what a
build it.
Batmobile is. I don't know what a Batmobile Tumbler is. Is it like a
but, right,
cup?
No, it's oh, shut up. Anyway, right.
It's a magazine.
Okay, I've never heard that one.
So basically, right, you can
All right,
build
boomer.
an 8th scale model
Yes.
Right.
of the Batmobile, right?
Yes.
So you're watching TV and you saw an ad
No, they're
for
every
a
year.
model
There is a magazine like this every
for
year,
a
right?
you saw an ad for a magazine for a model Batmobile.
Yep. And it's $1.99, right? It says $1.99 per like edition per fucking
Yeah, right.
magazine, right? Until you get to edition 3,
Hmm.
where it goes to $10.99.
So
And-
I'm sorry, this is so confusing to me. I'm really trying to understand. I'm not making a joke here.
Yep.
In the UK, you
It
have
happens every
TV
year.
spots where they try to sell you a series of magazines
Correct.
Yes.
to get you to put together your
Yes.
own
Yes.
Batmobile
Yes.
miniature.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Fucking
That's
What
correct.
the
totally
fuck
true.
is going on? Y'all know about the
Every year.
internet at all? Like,
But listen,
I-
no, you're not letting me finish, right? This is the best
I'm
bit, right?
trying. Go ahead.
There's 120 magazines to collect to finish your model.
Why not just buy a miniature?
No, but this is
Batmobile
what
if
I'm
you're
coming
that
to do. This is
concerned?
what I'm coming. Guess how much that costs altogether?
$600
build
or
your model.
600 pounds.
No, to build the model costs £1,294,
And you have to put it together?
and you have
Fuck
to put
outta
it
here.
together yourself, right? On Just
Ridiculous.
Geek,
What the fuck?
on Just Geek, right? You can buy a 1/6 scale, super duper fucking model, right, with all the bells and whistles, lights,
You buy
precision
an actual
engineering
Batmobile for
Yeah,
$1,000.
you
For-
could buy the actual tumbler for that.
for £649. So you can buy 2 of these ready-made that look infinitely better than the one
Yeah.
you put together
So
yourself.
weird.
Yeah,
It's-
but,
and
but
people,
like, I
who
don't.
buys them?
So, yeah, like there's
Well,
ones that
apparently
like
people
there's
are.
ones for like model airplanes, Duke. So instead
Yeah.
of selling you the model airplane as a whole, I didn't know this was a UK thing. I just thought this was all over the place.
It's
but in
every
the UK,
year.
it's like, oh, here's a magazine, and it'll tell you about the parts that we've given you and all this, and it basically tries to sell you like.
And you get
upsell
one
you.
tiny
It's so
part for
bizarre.
Yeah.
each magazine to build
Yeah,
it.
So
yeah.
every month you put together a little bit more of
Yes.
this
yeah,
model.
yeah. This is it, and they expect
What
you
a
to do
bizarre
that for
structure for
2
selling people things.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
2
Wow,
years.
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's honestly the most ridiculous scam ever.
Well, it's not really a scam, is it? It's just an
kind of
upsell, isn't it?
is.
But I just want to emphasise that Stu sounds like in the UK, people everywhere, all over the UK, are getting swarmed by like some sort of like locust invasion of.
No,
some
but there's
Until they
usually
get
about-
kicked out of their
subscriptions.
homes because
No.
they've been
Now,
scammed.
you're showing your
Ah.
age, Stu, because you're saying I watched TV the other day, which
I know,
is
that
what
is true.
nobody does
YouTube,
anymore.
I watch YouTube.
Uh,
To be fair, there's usually about 4 or 5 of these types of things in January.
Yeah, there's loads. There's loads.
There's
of
loads
these.
of them.
I never noticed that
Fucking
they happen in January.
build
It's
your
like
own
model airplane, like it could be like
Right.
a like a-
Dollhouse furniture.
it could be like a Superman figurine, like
Yeah.
whatever.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
It's bizarre, honestly.
I mean, the fact that
and it's
magazines
ridiculous.
still exist, like
Well,
that
quite.
right there, is weird. But the fact that
Well-
you're getting magazines to help you learn about this model you're buying, like,
Yeah, and then paying through the nose.
Some
and
of
then,
them,
yeah.
some
this
of them
is the
are
best
trying.
bit.
Some of them are trying to be like educational. So like, here's like a bunch of like sciencey shit that like every week you can do a little experiment or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But
shit
here's the
like
best
that.
thing, right? For an extra
Well, that would make sense.
£2 per like month on your subscription, you can get a display case as well.
Well, you're
that's
not gonna like.
£2
by the way, I'm
times
wearing the Mr. Hero shirt with my
120.
picture on.
Holy
I got
crap!
the Duke crank right here on the shirt. Thanks, Mr. Hero.
Well, you're not gonna like your birthday presents, you.
Thank you. But you can get You can get the
He got you a
Lego
goat. Trafford.
Lego Batmobile for 200 and odd quid. I'd rather have that. If you're gonna build some of yourself, get some Lego. That's what I say.
Or some Tinker Toys.
yeah,
There are
fuck
these
it.
metal things you can make a TARDIS out of that.
Fuck the fucking
R2D2.
Batmobile Tumblr magazine. Stick it up your ass.
Yes, it sounds like if we just ignore it, maybe they'll go away.
I know, but do you know when something just annoys you? Really annoys. I hate it. I hate
yeah,
it.
they
I
just
just,
show
I
every
just
week.
can't get annoyed by something that just passes me by. Like,
I mean, things on the
I get
TV.
what you're
Here's the thing:
saying.
I used to get mad at things on the TV, and then I watched my mom get madder and madder about what's on the TV. And at this point, I'm just like, it's the TV. Like
Yeah.
they're just trying to get.
Look,
us
I
mad.
have if things that I don't have to look. If I just choose to ignore it, Stu, it plays no
Yeah,
part in
yeah.
my life.
I get what you're saying. I do get where you're coming from, and maybe I should do that. But God,
Well,
it's annoying.
But to be fair, I also can understand where you're coming from, Stu, because I saw something on the TV. It was 5 cops in Memphis, Tennessee, beating
Oh,
a man
yeah,
to
that
death
was
while he pleaded for his
awful.
mother. Which, I mean, it's not quite as bad as magazines that
I
try to
don't
get you
know.
to buy
I don't
models, but
know.
it's, I feel like it's.
So
And let's
it's
not
on a,
forget-
it's on a level.
So
it's on the
I was going
same.
to rant about that, but I feel like there's no point now.
No,
that
I
you-
think what Stu's talking about is on the same level.
Yeah, it's first
Well, it's a
world
little
problems.
more important to
Yeah.
the world.
Yes.
To be fair.
But let's not forget as well that the ambulance men just stood watching for
Yes,
a while.
they did.
What
Yes,
when you
they
was
did.
putting the tumbler together, right?
Yeah.
For the thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, terrible.
Right.
That's a really
All
bad.
right.
use of their
Anybody
time.
have any stories? Actual stories?
James Bevan and It's a Stinky Poo is in the chat. Chat is a bit quiet
Yeah.
tonight. Chat's a
Bit
bit quiet.
It's a bit
Bit
quiet.
quiet.
Speak
Come
up,
on.
chat.
Be
Come on, let's
quiet.
hear
Quiet.
this. Talk about things. Here, I got a kind of a story. I had a student. It was my birthday on someday this week, Wednesday maybe. And my birthday always comes at the turn of the semester. So it used to be during finals week. And I don't really care. There's a part of me that wants people to
I don't
make a big
believe
deal out of my
Duke
birthday. But
doesn't care about his birthday. I think he
I shouldn't
chooses.
say I don't care at all.
I'm not talking to you, Duke. I'm talking to the listeners. I think Duke chooses to not care, so he doesn't get disappointed when people forget. But I
Well,
think
there's that.
actually-
I will not argue that that's a part of it. Like
I-
legit, when I was in like middle school, we were 12, 13 years old, whatever y'all call it, seventh formers or whatever.
year seven,
I used to
the same.
have parties and people wouldn't come. So that may have been an early part of it. It was like, don't get your hopes up. Anyway, the point is that I don't shut up. I don't really make a big deal of it in class, but I do have like a slide every day for which author was born that day. So, on this day,
Oh, I
was
see what
T.S.
you're going
Eliot.
to do.
On this day, it was Chinua Achebe. And so on the 25th, it's Virginia Woolf. Naomi Wolf wrote The Beauty Myth. Virginia Woolf, Room of One's Own, Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse.
Of course. we
And
all
then
know
I have
that.
a slide for
Of course.
myself. And then I like flip past the slide for myself real quick. And, I talk about Virginia Woolf. And then I'm like, really? No one's going to say anything about the other slide that I showed you for a second? And they were like,
Wow.
the dude had a hat that said, don't ask. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
the part you noticed. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Anyway, the point is, one student gave me some brownies,
Yeah.
and that was very sweet. I was like, awesome. Thank you, dude. He got them at the store, but who cares? They were very tasty.
That's
doesn't
a
matter.
gift
Doesn't
is
matter.
A gift.
Yeah.
A gift is a gift. Can we just
And
say,
then this
by the
other
way,
no.
Oh, we've got another
I was going to
sheet.
say some of this problem with
What you're
birthdays,
saying is more important.
as long-term listeners,
It's going to
will
be
know,
about magazines.
I've
again.
decided tonight
is-
I'm not going to let Stu get away. Look, I've been quite
No,
lazy the last
I'm
month.
only going to say.
But tonight I'm going to give you some
What
shit.
do you mean? What are you going to do about it?
No.
There's nothing you can
know
do.
what you can
You're not
do?
going to let him get away with
You-
it.
No,
As if
what
you
I
have
mean
any
is,
enforcement powers.
what I mean is the last 10, 17 years
200
I've been a
episodes,
bit
yeah.
relaxed on the show.
The
But tonight
last 17
I'm
years.
gonna be on it.
He
with,
got a good night's sleep last
I'm
night,
awake.
so he's
I'm
ready to
awake.
fight
You're
back.
So
Okay.
No, I'm also
Yeah,
only going
go
to say,
ahead.
Fucking
right,
boxing
I think,
gloves.
Guess what we're going to say.
I think some of the problem with Duke's birthday, as long-term listeners will know, is the bike incident.
What?
And
No,
for-
you keep clinging to this. It's like
I'm
the
honest, you
goddamn
brought it
trees
up.
falling over. I say something once, Stu makes that the linchpin
You
of someone's
brought
entire
it up.
identity.
Yeah.
as
Remember
we
that time you
know.
wore a blue shirt? Oh, what's up there? Blue shirt, Duke? It's like
As we
Arthur
know.
Two Sheds Jackson on Monty Python. Like, what the fuck?
Psychological issues later in
Psycho-
life usually
Look, you want to
stem
mention that
back
incident from
to
my
a
childhood? Fine.
childhood
It was an amusing
incident.
moment. Yes, I'm
It
not
is.
going to dispute that I
But
was
for
a
newer-
weird kid.
For newer listeners, let's just recap on what happened. Come on, Duke.
Quickly,
Tell the
quickly,
story.
Stu. Quickly.
Come on.
Okay, fine. Here's the recap. I was 7 years old. I had made it clear, I thought, that to my parents that I wanted the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy text-based video game. They didn't pick up the hints, or I didn't make them very well. They took me to get a bike. They thought I'd be over the moon. Instead, I was like, and they were like, what's wrong? No, you want a bike? And I was like, oh, I want a video game. And they're like, we can go get that. And I was like, okay, yay. And they're like, do you want a bike? I was like, I guess. That's the
And,
story.
and
It's a
now
cute
every
story.
every time, like, so this is the scenario, right? This is how
I'll
it
bet
affects.
it's Christmas Eve. Stu's like, all right, it's 1 month until I get to bring up the bike story.
It is totally true.
So
I bide
what
my
happens
time.
is like, you know, Diane is in the car with Duke, right? And like they're driving and they're having they're having a good night. They're having some breakfast, a really good day, and it's all lovely and so. And then there's like a kid riding a bike, and Diane just grabs the wheel and said, "Eric, please don't." And I'm like, "But I won't.
Don't
I won't.
kill a
I
child
won't. I won't.
because you're traumatized.
I
about
won't. I won't. I won't." And he goes, because because remember what happened last time, and you're like, "I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't." And you drive by and you drive past, and nothing happens. But Diane knows that you wanted to hit that bike with your car.
Speaking of heartbreak from childhood during birthdays, here's something else. And I don't know if we've even talked about this. When I was a kid, we used to have our birthday parties at a place called Aladdin's Castle, which was this huge arcade chain in the United States. It was the place to go.
Okay.
Best place in town for video games. It worked on a token system. And for the first few years I can remember, we would have birthday parties there. And anytime friends had theirs there, we were also over the moon for that because they would turn on all the games and you would have like an hour or 2 hours in the arcade with free play. You could play as much as you wanted. It was so glorious. Then 1 year they changed it. And when we came in, I was so excited. And they said, here's your roll of tokens. And I was like, roll of tokens? What are you talking about? Like for after the party? And they're like, no, during the party. I was like, what?
Gosh.
It became, you got a roll. And then once they were gone, that was it.
I'm looking at Aladdin's castle now, Stu. And for reference for you, it looks like every bowling alley without the bowling alley bit.
Is it still there?
No, they closed down. But
all right, okay. I was
you
going to
can
say
see pictures sometimes on the internet. It's like magazines, but digitally.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the internet is like a massive magazine that never ends and doesn't subscribe you to a piece of shit.
All right, so
Plastic
this thing.
every week.
I had a student make me a birthday card. It just says happy birthday, right? It's very sweet. But on the inside, this student is so sweet. He's so nice.
Well, he's written a
always
massive
giving
letter.
little notes. He said, it is a letter. Oddly enough, I admire your humility more than anything. Sometimes I find it hard to apologize and admit my mistakes. It's inspiring to see you be so vulnerable during class. I'm happy to be in 3 of your classes, even though they are a little repetitive. Of course they are. Like, what the heck?
Has he listened
He's
to
in
the
3
show?
classes.
Yeah,
Oh, God, no. I hope
Christ.
not. I've never had a teacher as interesting or as passionate as you. And he keeps going like that. It was so nice. It really made my day.
Isn't that?
One of those is worth like a room full of presents. So.
Isn't that a sweetheart there? Hey,
It's very
what a
sweet.
nice
That student's
chap.
so nice.
Yeah,
he is.
In the chat,
Can
we
I just-
have in the chat. It's about the listeners, Stu.
I was
Fuck,
just going to
what a-
check.
You
though.
always. This is what you do. Look, I'm not there. You go.
Look, it's a conversation.
Stu,
I'm asking
shut
a question about the
fuck
card.
up, right?
I just
you,
asked
you,
a
you
question
go.
about the card.
Can I just say,
In a
and then we
second, you
interrupt
can
each
ask
other,
the question.
and
Let
then
him
you just
talk, and then I'll
overpower
It's
it
a
with.
conversation. Why would you ask it after the
You
fact?
overpower it with. I was
Not
just
that
gonna
big a
say this.
deal.
Well, I was just gonna say something. So fuck you and whatever you're just gonna say, because I'm just gonna say something, right?
I like feisty
I'm
chinny.
sorry.
Okay, right. So James Bevan is in the chat. It's a stinky poo. I've already said that, but another person called James is in the chat, and then the broken scythe says, "Remember, killing the child is always the goal." That was a funny
Wow.
comment.
Wow, that's a bit much.
Red Van Man said, "Are you early today?" I am going to tell him that we're early every week from now on. We're half
This
eight.
is our new normal.
Jesus Christ!
Because Stu has to get up
Sorry.
early.
Now,
tomorrow.
Stu, what the fuck
Dude.
was you gonna say?
I was only asking, did he actually say you've got humility, Duke? I'm just checking that was what he
He
said.
does have
because I have a
humility.
different. It's going to be weird for you to
Whoa,
hear.
what
Oh,
the
wait. Hang on a second. Hey, shut up,
Whoa.
Stuart. Here's the thing.
I
No,
was just
shut
gonna
up. Listen.
say.
I have a different persona
Yeah.
here in this podcast space
I hope so.
than I do in my classroom.
I hope
Can you
so.
imagine that? I don't
No,
talk to
no, I
y'all the
can't.
same way I talk to the Duchess.
I totally
imagine
imagine.
that. You've
No, I
never
totally
really seen
imagine.
me be filled with humility, but when I teach, I am.
I was just gonna
For
have these
instance-
words come out my mouth, right? And say, Stu, do you act the same? But Stu, honestly,
yeah, totally I
Stu
do. I'm
acts the same everywhere
I'm
he
totally
goes.
the same.
Yeah, he does.
Because
I believe
you
that
know what?
100%. But
That's who I am. So
well, guess
I
what?
understand
I have
wherever I
different
am.
masks that I put on when I'm
Yeah, you
teaching
do.
versus when I'm.
'Cause fuck it out.
So when I
Isn't
start
it?
class every day, I play the Run the Jewels song that says, "I'm the shit."
Yeah.
Looking at the money like it's mine to get.
Can you-
I'm the shit, bitch.
Oh my god.
Can you play that?
That's how I start
Oh.
class.
Yeah. Red Van Man is in the
Oh.
chat and he says, I normally listen to the podcast when he's too busy being on strike, but now he's listening to this tonight.
I'm liking feisty Chitty.
Yeah, I'm not happy
Yeah.
today. I'm just gonna take it out. Usually I'll sit back. I
Well,
let
you know what? This is what my students do. My students try to get me wound up so that I become more animated.
I
and
remember
lively
like
and
this way. I
fun.
was like, I've been doing the show passively for quite a while at the moment.
Yes.
I'm sitting up today.
Not tonight, motherfuckers.
No,
So-
he's fucking on it.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have anything else?
No one
to
else has
say
any
before we
boring
move on?
shit to talk about.
There is,
Okay.
there
Where
is
are you
actually.
going?
Oh,
Story time's
fuck's
over,
sake.
isn't it?
No, there
What?
is. I
What?
can't get
What?
over this.
What?
Right?
What?
I'm just,
What? Do you have hemorrhoids? Like, what do you want? What?
This is the.
That would be
Oxford-
an interesting story.
Yeah, that
at
would be
least.
quite good,
My
actually.
ass is really hurting.
No,
All right.
no, I'm sorry, but I can't get past
You know when
this,
you take
right?
a shit and the water
is
drips
the-
up and does a kiss on your
Oh
ass.
God, that's the worst. I
The
hate it.
worst.
This is the Oxford Dictionary, right? Definition of humility. The
Okay.
quality of having a modest or low view of one's importance. Right?
Yes.
And that couldn't be more opposite to you.
No,
It couldn't.
no.
Well, not my actual self, but my classroom persona.
no,
I
he
put
does
that
have
ego to the
humility.
side.
Yes.
I
He
know
does.
how to focus on what's
Stop
important.
it.
Now here's the thing. Look, if I had humility
I'm
on this show,
sorry.
that would be boring as fuck. I'd be like,
Yeah, well,
at some point, I'd like to make a comment, please. I have a sound clip I think would be amusing, but I don't want to play
Oh.
it. At
I
I
love
love it, dude. I
I've
do.
got
I
a-
love
I've
it.
got a
I
word
do
that-
it.
having a
I've got a
podcast.
word that describes you, Stu. I've just I've just read it. up.
Hemorrhoids. We already talked about
It's
it.
called strunk, and what strunk means is
What does that mean?
it ignores everything that he's not interested in.
Oh,
Like
right,
when other
anyway,
people
dude,
are
shall we
talking
move
about
on with
other
What
the
about
video
squant?
games.
Is that the new color that they made up for Negative Land?
Squant.
Right. Let's talk about some video games.
What you been playing?
Eventually, maybe.
The broken the broken Sive said it's almost like teachers have a life. I can't believe it.
I know.
Oh,
who
well,
knew?
let's not go that far. Hang on a second.
know.
I am,
Oh, whoa,
I am
whoa,
grading
whoa.
papers as we speak.
Whoa.
Or I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be. Yeah.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Right, who
Oh
the
my
Yes,
God.
fuck's
okay.
going first?
Thanks for making me laugh a lot, though. That's it's
You're
good.
welcome. I'll go
Wow.
first because it looks like I played the most again.
Well, what do you want? Yeah, but look,
Well,
a lot of it is like
yeah.
just fucking screwdriver simulator. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
All right, well,
bollocks.
I was gonna start with that because I finished this game this week.
Wow.
Oh yeah! And I'll thank you to mention, Chinny, that when I play Screwdriver Simulator, I'm using the bone screwdriver, which I found in the basement of a haunted house. So, you know. Here's a
liking
question though. Yeah, I have a question for y'all. Okay, imagine you're the developer of Electrician Simulator. It's actually Electrician Simulator, listeners, if you don't know from last week. You're the developer, and you want to make a mission that involves Stranger Things in some way. How would you do it?
You've got to fix the fairy lights in the house.
Yes, that's correct, Stuart.
Hey,
and the
that's
mission
pretty
is
cool.
called "The Lights Stopped Talking," and it's all about how I need to find him with the lights, and they're called Christmas lights, but whatever, you call them fairy lights if you want. Yeah, and that's the challenge is to replace the certain fairy lights and get them working again. And it's interesting because it
The more
occurred to
find
me
out
that,
about
like,
this game, the more impressed I am. I have to say. I think
it's kind of
pretty
impressive. You know, they had one because here's the thing. Look, and I realized this as I was finishing it up. They have multiple. If they're gonna make 10 missions that are all basically like, here's this new house that we got, please fix the lighting in it, then they'd have to make 10 new houses, right? The models for 10 new places. But they don't do that. Instead, they've got like 2 or 3 missions in each of the locations that they've created, which is pretty clever because it means that they can reuse those locations, but it's different missions each time. So there was a bar that was opening up, and you had to get the TVs from the back room, hang them on the wall, and then install outlets near each TV so you could plug them in and then turn each TV to the football game and make sure that they're ready for the sports.
Because that's all they want to watch.
Customers. Yeah, exactly. And then they were like, hey, we're going to do a disco night, so come by and, put the speakers up and connect it to the Wi-Fi and all this. And then they were like, turn off all the lights on the dance floor. And I was like, what? Turn off the lights on the dance floor? So I was like, okay, I'll just click each light, I guess. And it's one of those lights. It's one of those floors where it's like, 5 by 5. So there's like 25 lit up boxes, blue, yellow, red, all that. And I was like, they wouldn't turn off when I click on them. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I went to the breaker and I was like, well, I'll just turn the breaker off and then they'll be off. And it's like, no, that didn't do it. And I turn the breaker back on. I go back. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to? Come to find out by accident, by just moving over them. When you move over one of the lights, it'll switch from blue to yellow and then yellow to green and then green to off. So you have to walk over it, but they're all different colors. So you have to walk over them in, various patterns until they turn green, and then you touch them one more time, and then they're done. So you end up having to very careful. It's again like this weird little mini game in the midst of this mission. And then when you're hooking up the speakers, you want to make sure you don't step on any of the lights on the floor because then you'll have to turn them off again. Yeah.
And then in the nightclub, is there another level where it's like, okay, and now we just need this red light, and we just need just like a really strong lock and lots of beds, lots of beds.
No, but there is one where you change the sprinklers so that they shoot blood everywhere, and then you have like in Blade, and it's
a
like
Blade reference. It's a Blade reference.
Blade's a fun movie with vampires.
Yeah, it is. I remember that.
Yeah, right. No, but it's great. And then when I finished the last mission, there's an email that comes up for each mission. And when you finish, the last email that comes up is your dad, who had left you the business at the start of the game. And he sends his email. It's like, I've heard you've been solving all these electrician problems and you've been fixing things. I'm so proud of you. And let's go out to dinner to celebrate. And it's like, oh my God, my dad is proud of me. That's so sweet.
Look, is that how he describes the work of electrician? You've been solving electrician problems. Look.
I don't think it's quite like that. I think I may have fumbled the word.
Congratulations on solving all the electricity issues in the world.
Put it in H.
I will have Neil. You are now my son. Daniel Bed.
I will hand you a company that sells Gape clothing next.
I accept you as son now. Daniel Bed Cobber. Bed Cobber says.
Bed Cobber.
Says greetings all. Ian says evening. And the broken scythe. The broken scythe is just like the commenter of the week at the moment. He's like,
apparently,
Dad, you came back with the light bulbs. So you're enjoying. What's your
electrician? I have enjoyed it. I've not uninstalled it because I think I'm gonna go through and fix all the little gadgets again because that part is so much fun. But it's great, and they had a few Christmas missions this year. So I'm guessing they're probably going to put out more missions later, and so I might just keep it installed and wait for them to put out more stuff.
Can I ask a question? Can you get electrocuted?
Oh yeah, because I actually did that. I haven't ever been killed with the electricity, but I did one when I was putting the bar together. I wanted to rewire something, and I just started working on it, and then it goes and it like shakes the screen, and you're like, oh yeah, I got to turn off the power. Duh.
Nice.
So it does have that.
What about can you blow stuff
at the start of the game? Maybe, I don't know. I've never really tried to destroy things, but it's possible, perhaps. Although I don't really think that I think if you've got a fault in your stars, then you are a teenager in love with cancer. No, if you have a fault in the system, my guess is that it just doesn't work because most of the time when I've tried to turn something on, it just says like, check to see if you have all the wires connected properly. So I don't think it'll really blow anything up.
No, that would have been cool though. Sparks flew out of it because you wired it up wrong or whatever.
Yes, but so far as I know, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but at least you do get electrocuted. I quite like that.
At least you get electrocuted. There's a good title for our show.
Yeah, I've already named it Screwdriver Simulator, but look, maybe we could rename it to At Least You Get Electrocuted.
Yeah, why not?
At least.
There you go. Put it in.
So on the screen, all we're seeing is the fixing of things, which I find to be really awesome. But there are a lot of missions where you go to someone's house and you rewire stuff, or you open up a bar by getting the TVs working and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you have any, I think this may be my favorite simulator game of all time. Is that true? Can I say that?
Yeah.
I think
have you played Power Wash Simulator?
I have.
Okay. He didn't like it as much.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just that it got old for me really quickly. So. This did not. I don't know why, but.
Well, you're allowed to be wrong, so it's fine.
Well, I'm allowed to have a different opinion. All right, who's next?
Hold on, what's the episode? What is it? 681.
Yes. No, 682. It's 682.
Fuck's sake.
682.
This is great audio.
He didn't notice the intro I did at the beginning, explaining that it was 682.
Well,
and
I'm
not
Well, we
sorry.
heard you
Well,
say
I guess I wasn't
welcome.
listening.
That
you
was
accusing me of
hilarious.
not? Are you
I'm
accusing me?
accusing you of not listening.
Are you
Ginny.
accusing me of not
Welcome.
listening when I'm rambling on about a game? I can see your
You weren't
fucking face
listening.
scrolling random
See
stupid
the
shit.
different colors show up on his face.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Honestly, now that I can
Welcome.
see,
He said
now that I
welcome,
can
right?
see Stu while I'm talking about a game, I can see that he's just not. And I can see now that he has glasses as well. I can see
You
fucking.
see the reflection of my
See the
screen.
I can see what he's
reflection. Oh,
looking
You'll
at.
see it. It's YouTube.
Donkeyporn.net.
It's YouTube.
Yeah,
It's YouTube.
coming right up.
Anyway.
All right, who's next?
I don't know. Welcome. Me? You?
Go ahead,
shall
start
I
talking
go?
about Elden Butt.
Oh, fucking Elden Ring. What a fucking game
Don't.
that
You
game
got to
Do you
say
have anything new to say
something
about it?
more than that.
Yeah.
You can't say
Gotta
just
say
play it.
something
You
new.
can't say
Just
what a game.
Play it.
Uh,
It's
Tell
so
me about it.
amazing. It's so open. It's so
Stop it.
awesome. Oh my
yeah,
God.
no, actually, this week I came across an area that was pretty hard. Mostly
You came across an area that was pretty hard.
That's like saying, "Oh, the new." I've been playing this Tomb Raider game, and it's a
what
woman.
You've gotta,
It's a woman.
what you've
though.
got to understand is once you've got the easy mod installed, it's
not supposed to be
generally-
hard, it's easy.
Generally easy most of the time. But then I came to an area where there's all this fucking there's a swamp, and it's sort of blood coloured. It's called a blood swamp or something. I don't know.
Bloody hell.
Slow down.
Would you?
I wonder how
would you
long that.
believe?
I wonder how long that
you believe?
naming meeting took.
That was
It
6 weeks
is.
of
It's called something
deliberations
else,
about
but it's
what to
anyway.
call
It basically looks like a blood swamp.
Okay,
But as
got
soon
it.
as you step into it, you just start dying instantly.
Right.
But I did
Sucks
figure
your
out
blood out.
for some reason if you ride your horse in it, it's all good. So you've just got to ride.
So the horse
around it.
doesn't get hurt by the blood
horse
swamp, but you
doesn't-
do.
No, but you do. But
That
then
makes
your
no
horse is
sense.
like a spirit horse, so it's not like a real
spirit
horse.
like
Yeah.
Shadowmere in Skyrim.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's
Skyrim
why
did it.
the horse is fine.
Skyrim did it.
Yeah, but can the horse in Skyrim double jump? I don't think so.
Yeah, but can the horse in Elden Ring stand on a surface at a 49-degree angle?
Well, that is also not true.
Yeah.
But yes, I can. Yeah, here's the thing though. I came across another Erd tree or whatever mini Erd tree boss, who was pretty hard. It took me 6 goes to kill him, which is it's quite a lot on
That's
the
a lot of
easy mod.
goes.
It's a lot of goes for that. But yeah, honestly, it's so good. Even with the easy mod turned on, and I know it makes it a lot easier because it really does. It's still a lot
Slow
of
down,
fun
what?
to play. I know,
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's still a lot of fun, and I'm just it's just so vast. I keep thinking
Yeah.
I've more or less found every area in the game, and then you just find another one, and then you find another one, and then there's a secret door into another one. It's just
Yeah.
honestly, it's constant exploration and
You
discovery.
couldn't say more to put me off.
Really, but then you like Skyrim, and you like The Witcher 3.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because those games are fun.
Yeah, but this is fun.
They're
you.
an endeavor, aren't they? They're a journey. They're a fucking saga. Like, and not all games need to be. I don't think I'm ready for that right now. I'm not
No.
looking for that right now.
It is definitely a saga. That is true, and there is a story, so it isn't just aimlessly wandering.
Yeah, but
around
do I have to
killing
read
stuff.
to know the story?
No, you just talk to people. Like you find out a lot of the stuff just
Somehow
by
I'm not sure I
talking to
believe you,
characters
yeah.
in the game. Your random NPCs that you find dotted around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm leveling shit up. I've got a crystal flask now as well, so I can do fancy shit with that
Ooh,
now.
Crystal flask.
Yeah.
You can
I
get drunk
know.
faster.
Is that what you
You
put
know,
your
there's-
water when you water when you go to work? Is it one of those?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's like the Love Island
Yeah.
flask.
Oh my
It's got your
god!
name
Can
on.
we?
It's got your name.
Can we
everything.
go chat?
Yeah.
Great. Have you got anything new to say about?
Not really,
bloody-
apart from it, I just can't stop playing it. Every
Yeah.
time I play something else, I'm like, I think I'd rather be playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
That's the trouble. Honestly, that's the problem with this game. Because everything else, it's just like, nah, I'd rather
That's
be
a sign of a good
exploring.
game. It's a sign.
It
of a
is.
good
Oh, no,
world,
it definitely
great.
is. It definitely is. And it's a long time since I felt like this. Because, like, God of War Ragnarok, I've played it, but it didn't grab me by the balls the same as this game has.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean, though? Even like Plague
Yes.
Tale Requiem, I thought I'm gonna like play that until I finish it in one go. No, you know what I mean. This, I just want to play this all the time.
Hmm.
That's all I want to do because it's so engrossing and there's so much to find. I love it.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
cool.
and I
I'm
do.
glad
wish,
you're loving it.
I wish you two would give it a go.
Yeah, I know
At
you
some
would.
point, I will. Like, I actually do
know.
want to play this. Like, the students keep telling me to play it. You keep telling me to play it, and I'll wait for students tell me to play things all the time. It doesn't make me want to play it, but when it sticks around for a while, and I hear from other people I trust. I don't always trust.
Oh,
students.
what are you saying?
Well, I'm
That
saying
you
I
don't
trust you
trust me?
sometimes. I'm saying I trust you sometimes with some
Well,
games.
yeah. But most of the time, I am honest. Most of the time, I'll say this game you should
No,
give
most
it a go.
of the time
but
you
I
say, "Oh,
don't-
you'll love Subnautica," and then
Yeah.
it's
Not
like,
always. I
Not
try and be. I try
always.
and actually
Sometimes.
have good judgment on what
Most
you
of the
may
time
or
you
may
say
not.
you've
I'm
got to
just
play
saying
this
you're not
game.
always
It's
good at that.
it's good to play this game. It's great, and then you've moved on by the time you've even recommended it.
Well, there's that too.
Well, there is that to be said, but not this
Mm,
time. Can I just
mm.
say, not this time? Anyway, Chinny, what have you been playing?
I've been playing High on Life.
Have you? Have you gone back to that? I can't
Gone back to that. I didn't play a lot of it when we had to play it for our Play My Game bits, right? So I didn't play
Yeah.
loads of it. I sort of rushed it for the show, and I was like, I've just finished God of War. What can I play that's just like pretty easy going? Whatever.
Not as much of a story, not as epic.
Sorry, yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. So I've been playing Hang On Life. This is the creators of Rick and Morty. I know one of them he's been basically been arrested and all this sort of stuff. So for the purposes of this show, we won't talk about that. But
No.
yeah, I didn't really get that far in the demo, and a lot of it at the start is like just transferring your house to the alien world and all that sort of stuff. I thought this game's funny, man. This game's all right.
Yeah.
The gun obviously talks to you, and then you get a knife who just wants to stab everything.
I love the knife. I think the knife's the best character in the game.
Yeah, and then so I did the first boss, which is like the ant queen thing. And then I'm off to the second one, and the second environment is kind of like a jungle environment, and it is a little boring. And the shooting does get repetitive, but most people, everybody says about these games like, oh, if you take the humor away, it's just another shooter. But like the humor's there, like why?
Well, the humor's a big part of the game. Yeah.
If you say, oh, if you can play, you'd say that about any game, can't you? It's like, oh, God of War is like, if you just take the great combat away and the story, then it's just a fucking shit game. I was like, well, yeah, but it's not. So shut up. So this game's funny. It's rare that you get like funny games that pull it off really, really well.
Yeah. Sure.
Like the double jump joke at the start is really, really fun. Like, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so we got fucking double jump in this game, and then you do a double jump. It's like, oh, we couldn't afford it, so you're just gonna have to crouch. And that's a funny joke. It's like made by people that are funny and also know how to tell a joke. What I like, one thing I've unlocked like a warp drive, and what that does. Sorry, I keep wiping my nose. What the warp drive does is like, say you can't get from A to B because it's too big of a gap, you can warp in a random object, and it will bridge the gap.
Interesting.
But the problem is, this random object can be like some random shit from another part of the planet that you're on. So I warped in part of like a highway, and on that highway were 3 people arguing about the traffic, and then you go. You jump on the highway to get across, and they're like, "Well, you crashed into me, motherfucker." It's like, "Well, fuck you." It's like, "Oh, holy shit, where have we gone?" It's like, "I don't give a fuck. Look at my car." It's just very, very funny.
It's like the probability drive on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. There's not many games that make you laugh out loud. And this one did.
It's true.
So
especially because a lot of comedy games, like, they miss the mark, and it becomes painful. And if the comedy's there but the gameplay sucks, that's also going to be painful. But this one, I recall the gameplay being pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it's good.
it's decent. Yeah, it's decent, and
You
like
want to keep playing for the comedy, but you don't mind
the visuals are good.
mechanics
The combat's like good, and I've only got one gun and a knife so far, but the knife also acts as like a grapple. But it's all right, yeah. But it's just the pacing is it's starting to slow down, and I'm basically I'm at a point now. I was like, well, yeah, it is kind of getting a little boring, but I want to see where it goes. I just want to see where it goes, and it's not too intense. So yeah, it's not really asking a lot of me. I just have to just shoot stuff and off we go. And I think you can come back to the certain areas and unlock chests and stuff like that, but I'm not interested. So
yeah, I got the sense that when you go into the slums, they're like, oh, it's the slums. Like you're gonna be going back there a bunch. But I suppose that every game wants to do that now. It's like it's an open world. You can get collectibles. Make sure you get all the things in this.
I really enjoyed the joke in the slums where it's like there's a kid at the gate and he's like, hey, fresh meat, yeah, you gotta fucking shoot me, you fucking stupid prick, and you're like, hey, we can't shoot him, man, that's not cool, and then you go to shoot him, and he goes, oh my god, you're gonna shoot him, I'm not gonna allow that, and then I did shoot him,
wow.
and the gun was like, you fucking happy now, you fucking killed a kid, and then you go down the rest of the slums and you meet his mom. And he goes, "Oh, you see my kid? And he says, oh yeah, we kind of murdered him." And she says, "Oh well, like he was 30, he just didn't age very well." And
I mean, I didn't shoot the kid because I'm not a monster, but the mother was like, "I wish somebody would shoot him," and it was just like, okay,
very funny.
I definitely shot the kid. Can I just say?
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
So I think High on Life, it's okay, but it's not. It's kind of like a 3 out of 5, but like a good 3 out of 5, not in a bad way. Like it's just it's fine. It's doing what it's doing, but I'm kind of playing it at the right time. You know what I mean? I've not got massive high expectations of it. I just need a game to sort of tide me over until I'm not ready to take on like a big. I don't want to take on a big game like Elden Ring at the moment. I just want to play a little few small games. Yeah,
just want to chill, mindless.
So High on Life is okay. 3 out of 5. I would give it 3 out of 5.
Very good. Shall we talk about the game we all played this week that Chinny probably didn't play?
Of course I played whatever the hell we were supposed to play.
Of course you did.
Yes, let's talk about Mortal Shell.
Mortal Shell.
Hey, listeners, do you find yourself playing Dark Souls and thinking to yourself, this game is too sunny and full of color and joy? Then play Mortal Shell, the game that asks the question, what if life really sucked and everything was pain and misery and suffering all the time? I am so sick of this aesthetic. What the fuck, man?
It's very grey.
Oh, God.
I say.
Gray. You're just a suckling hole of nothingness and despair. You don't even have skin at the start of the game, and then you find a suit of armor to be, I guess. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, apparently, obviously I didn't play enough to find this out, but there are different shells you can inhabit.
Oh,
so there's about 5
and you can harden yourself. That's the big difference. If you thought this was just another knockoff of Dark Souls, you're wrong, because you can harden yourself. So when you're getting pummeled by a guy who kills you in 3 hits, just remember you got to dodge constantly and make yourself into like a rock.
Hard. Make yourself hard.
Right.
And then you get the smallest shield in the world, by the way. Did you get the smallest shield
I
in the
never
world?
got a shield, but
if you when you meet the woman in the chapel thing or whatever the hell it is, like a little castle. Did you even meet her?
I met the woman.
You don't even get that
the little
far.
crawly thing that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
And I don't remember meeting any woman.
And then you meet a woman in a chapel.
Okay.
And you go and talk to her, and then you can respawn at her. So that's your kind of respawn
Sounds
point.
rude.
I know. But then also what you can do, there's like a massive giant dude in chains at the back of the chapel thing, up the stairs in a little bit to the left. Okay. And you go and chat to him, and he gives you this. You can see it on the video here. The glowy thing on his back.
Okay.
That's like a tiny little shield that you can use to counter with, and it's tiddly. It's absolutely minuscule.
Is this a Dark Souls ripoff?
Yes.
Yes. Very much so.
Is it hard? Is it hard?
Yes.
Sorry, I was late on that, but
even in so much as like the button configuration is the exact same one. It's almost it's all identical. Everything pretty much.
So dark and grim.
Is it a no then?
Hell no on my part.
I don't know whether it's a hell no, but I don't know whether I'd be that playing Elden Ring. This has no interest for me.
I didn't know you was playing Elden Ring.
I know, and I think that's the problem. I'm comparing it to that constantly, and I'm like, this isn't anywhere near as much.
Well, that's
fun.
the danger, is it? I mean, if you make a game like this, it will always be compared.
But
to
this was
Elden
made just to clarify. This was made in 2018. This is the enhanced edition that they've
Right.
reissued. So this is an oldish game. What also happens is, which is kind of interesting, I suppose, where they try and differentiate themselves slightly, apart from the mortal shell thing. If you do get knocked out of your armor, you get a second chance to get back in it.
I see.
And if you-
Yes, I had
and if
that
you get-
happen.
If you get back in it in time, you get full health again. So it does. It's slightly less punishing, I guess, in that respect, but it's still incredibly hard. I mean,
Yes.
these enemies are, 2 hits, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Especially the bigger dude. The bigger dudes just do so much damage.
Yeah.
But I'm like, where's the easy mod? Where's the easy mod for
Yeah.
this? This is awful. No, I hate it. No. Yeah, I'm with Duke. It's too grey. It's too oppressive, and ultimately too hard.
Yeah.
So not fun and also annoying. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. While we're on it, though, I have got a game we all need to play this week.
Ooh,
Okay. It's
okay.
come
well,
out this
don't forget,
week.
I'm not going to be here next week. Probably.
know.
I'm going to be on a panel. So tell your
I
guest
know.
host to play it.
Yeah, we will.
And by the way, the love and joy that people felt for me when I announced I was going to be on a panel of science fiction writers.
Yeah, no, I really expressed my love.
Yeah, I did.
So what game would it be?
There's a new game come out. It's come out of nowhere. I've never heard of it. It's getting so much
It's better
love.
not be Elden Ring.
And it's called Hi-Fi Rush. So it's come out on Game Pass
Hi-Fi
this
Rush.
week.
Is it on the Xbox?
Yeah, it's on everything. So it's on Xbox.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
San Francisco Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah. So it's getting a lot of love. It's
Okay.
got really high scores. Everybody's loving this game.
Okay, Hi-Fi
Um,
Rush. Yeah, so
So we play Hi-Fi Rush. Don't
we
forget,
need
put
to
it in your
figure out
diary.
who's coming on the show next week.
We do. So we'll have to do some ringing around.
Begging,
I say.
begging.
Ringing around like all days. I'll get my little address book out. I'll have
Yeah.
a ring round.
Our little black book.
See if anyone's available.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there you go. That's what we're going to play next week. But Mortal Shell, it's a hell no from Duke, and no, probably not from me. I haven't got time to play
I don't
games
know
I don't
from me.
enjoy.
I don't know from
And
me.
you didn't even play it. You didn't even play
Well, that's
it.
a no then. Yeah, you
Hey.
couldn't
Yeah.
even be bothered.
Couldn't be bothered to play it. Right. Are we back to Duke? Or
I
Chini?
guess so.
I don't know.
Jenny, did you have anything? Did you talk about something yet?
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
did
talked
talk
about
about-
something. You carry on.
High on life. You go on, Duke.
All right, high and live, duh, of course.
Duh.
Right. So, yeah, I just quickly want to say a word about Rocket League because they dealt with these bots. Forbes magazine had, I mean, a bunch of places had articles about this, but here's what Forbes said. The headline was Psyonix breaks the silence on Rocket League AI bots with sweeping ban and plans for an anti-cheat system. This is good news, by the way. I want to make clear that I am in favor of this. The bots have been taken over, blah, blah, blah. People are mad. And then they said, here's what Forbes said. It's understandable why players were frustrated by a delay in communication from Psyonix, but it's clear that the developers wanted to respond with a comprehensive ban wave and a solution rather than a simple statement and nothing to back it up. In one response to a frustrated Twitter user who wished Psyonix had made a statement earlier, this Psyonix person said, do you really believe we weren't aware of what was going on? Okay, so here's my question then. Every day I get called the N-word, I get called the F-word, I get called all these horrible names, people hating on me because I'm
Fridge.
gay. I'm not gay, but you know, yeah. They people accusing me of having autism because I like to type in the chat and have fun. And I report them constantly. Not, you know, those individuals might get banned for 24 hours or something, but there's no ban wave. There's no comprehensive policy to deal with it, which makes me wonder then, does the company not know that this is going on? Does the company not care? Or does the player base not care to demand more? You know what I mean? Like they are responding to our outrage about bots, but they're not responding to some of our outrage about racism and hatred of gay people on their game.
Because bots affect the bottom line.
Yeah, they
I
do.
guess so. So maybe if more players, you know, were angry and expressed their rage in a way that might affect their bottom line, they might do something about that. So anyway, that was very frustrating to me. But whatever. I'm glad that they're taking action on the bots. I just wish they would do more about the racism. Yeah, I guess I should talk about speaking of games that involve cars that go fast from Verve. Last week I mentioned that I was buying Need for Speed Unbound live on the show because I had been hemming and hawing, and then I gave into peer pressure. Not so much peer pressure as it was I want this game pressure, and it was cheap. It was already like 60% off, which is ridiculous because it came out like 2 months ago. So
Crazy.
that tells you something about how the fans are responding to this game. Not well, but I love it. And my
I think
big
it's
worry,
generally positive about this game. I just don't think it sells very
not
well.
on Steam, the results are mixed. It's like the reviews are mixed right now. I don't think the critical reviews are bad, but people generally.
I don't
aren't
like
into it.
cartoons on my racing game.
Yeah, exactly. I want it to be realistic when I'm driving 90 miles an hour.
Play
down
the
a
other
city street.
48 realistic driving games.
Amen, brother. So here was my worry / hope. I thought maybe I would have to start over because I had played it on the Xbox Game Pass. So there was a part of me that was like, man, I don't want to have to do that because, they gave you 10 hours of gameplay, but only at a certain point in the game, and then it stopped you. So I was like, I don't want to have to do that first part of the game all over again and make a new character and all that. But I was also kind of hopeful, like, hey, it might be kind of fun to, do that part over again and make a new character and stuff. Because I don't know if y'all have this, but as you know, I love to start over and over again in certain games. Yeah. Minecraft. I
Prison
never get tired
Architect.
of.
Minecraft. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never played
Cities-
Prison Architect, but like
Cities Skylines. Yeah.
Rust. Never get tired of starting over in Rust. So are those games? Yeah, Chinny, you'll play those again and again to start over.
Yeah.
in them?
Cities. Yeah. Prison. Yeah. Minecraft. Yeah.
What is it about starting over in those games?
It's a
that you
fresh
like?
slate. It's a fresh slate. It's like
Yeah.
it's like snooker. You're having a scrappy frame, and you just want the next frame to start because it's a fresh start. You're just like,
Yeah. It's the anticipation of everything that's possible out there.
yeah.
In Minecraft, it's funny because I have all these ideas, like I can build this, I can build that, and then I get started, I get a base going, and I have all my materials. I'm like, all right, what do I want to build? I'm like, I don't really want to build any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's weird because if I pick a project, then I'll be really eager to work on it. But until then, I'm like, whatever, I'm good.
It might be
So
the
anyway-
same thing as like, when you get a new job and you're really on it. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
And then you're in the rhythm of the job, and like then people get new jobs.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like the same bug, really.
Yeah, sure. It's like that electronic song. This is the rhythm of the job. Anyway, so I thought that might get a chuckle from Stu, but nope, he's lost.
No,
in,
it was a
he's
terrible
lost
joke.
over.
Let me just look at his
It wasn't a
glasses.
funny
He's
joke.
reading about elf
I'm not. I am
porn.
watching Need for Speed Unbound on YouTube whilst we're talking
You
about
hate
it.
this game's visuals. Why would
I
you look
do.
at it?
Well, the rhythm of the job doesn't even work
This
as
is
a
the
joke. It
rhythm
doesn't
of
work.
the job.
And that's
It
not
does
even
work.
a
We're talking
thing.
about
It
it's a
doesn't
great
work.
joke.
It's a terrible
Whatever.
joke.
Anyway, yeah. So Need for Speed Unbound. Here's the thing: EA is good for something. They link my account, so I didn't have to
Aha.
start all over.
Ah.
Yay.
Oh, that's cool.
I can see myself playing this game again at some point, but whatever. In the meantime, it had dropped me off right at the the first sort of boss fight, so to speak. A series of 3 races going up against the woman who double-crossed you or whatever earlier on.
Oh yeah, she did.
Every time I play a game like this with a
Sneaky.
story that's so pointless and stupid, I keep thinking about the episode of The Simpsons when he's in the leaders camp and he's like, so the cops knew internal affairs was setting them up? It's like, what are you talking about? There's nothing like that in this movie. Oh, when I get bored, I make up my own movie. And I lost a few of the race. I was really frustrated. And I don't know if I mentioned this, you only get a certain number of restarts with these races. You get like 10.
All right.
So at a certain point, like you got to just accept whatever's,
It just
place
goes
you
you shit at
go
this
up there.
game.
Well, I guess so. And
Probably
I
there's
had to start
an easy
over.
mod, Stu.
Yeah, what you
Yeah,
need is an
exactly.
easy mod, easy mode mod.
Man. And it's funny because the championship here is you have to win. You have to finish in the top 4 out of 8, and then or else you'll get eliminated. And then the next one you have to finish in the top 3 out of 4, or you get eliminated. And the last
no.
one you have to win, or you have to do it over. And I was like, oh no, what happens if I keep losing? and I run out of restarts. Well, fortunately, it never came to that because after like 4 restarts, I finally won, and it was by the skin of my teeth. I was like, yes! And I think it's because the cops came on the scene at one point and they crashed into the person behind me. I was like,
Nice.
yeah, I took them out. So that was good, and it's so fun. I love this game. It's
Yeah.
great. Drifting around, cartoony effects. I won this really stupid looking truck when I won that series of 3 races. It's like, you won this. I'm like, I don't want that. That thing's ugly as shit.
Yeah,
But
they're
it is
always
a
really
fast
slow,
car.
aren't they? Is it fast? They're usually slow, aren't they?
Well, it's like highly tuned and like
Yeah. Yeah, this
juiced
cool,
up.
stupid
Yeah,
truck.
so yeah, I got a stupid fast truck. So.
Yeah, who
Like
knew?
Tracy Chapman sang about, you got a stupid fast truck.
Wow.
Yeah, so Need for Speed Unbound. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. You can play it for free a little bit if you have the PC Game Pass, I think. I don't think you can play this on the console, but yeah, it's great. Loving it.
There you go. Weird decision, by the way, if you can't
Yeah.
play it on console as well. Bit of an odd decision. Okay,
They
I
have a bunch of games like that.
I only have one more game to talk about, which is Unplugged Air Guitar on the Quest 2. I was like,
I know some of those words, but that makes no sense.
so basically, it's Guitar Hero on the Oculus Quest.
Right.
Okay.
So that's basically what this game is. And it just uses you can use controllers, but it's mainly using finger tracking, so it tracks your hands.
Oh
Does it?
dear.
So now it was only a tenner. It was reduced in the sales. I'm
You
like, oh,
bought it.
I did.
Fucking
I was
hell,
like,
Stu.
oh,
Why is
man.
why is
Well, how
VR
else are you
your
gonna play
weak
VR
point?
games?
Like you don't like spending money on games and all this stuff, but for some reason VR games you just like, let's put it all down.
Because
It's the sunken cost fallacy.
Yeah.
it's not. Well, it isn't. It. Yeah. Well, it is. It's because they seem cheap. It's 10 quid.
It was.
And I'm like, it's only a tenner. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. So first things first, right? These games live or die by the track list. You know,
Yes.
what
Yeah,
you
agreed,
what do
yes,
you
yeah.
get? What do you get? It's pretty good. I've got to say, they've got a good selection of songs on there. There's
Like, for
20
instance.
There's 23 songs on there. There's, for instance, you've got Alt J, Left Hand Free, Garbage, I Think I'm Paranoid.
That's a good song. I like that. But that's a rock band, so that doesn't count. You could easily just play Rock Band again.
Jet, are you gonna be my
Also
girl?
on Rock Band, no point.
Well, of
in
course,
getting
because
this
they're gonna
game
have
for
the
that.
similar type of songs. T-Rex, Children of the Revolution.
Never heard of it. Not a good song.
Tenacious D, Roadie.
Yeah, okay.
Weezer, Say It Ain't So.
That's a good song. Also on Rock Band.
Ozzy Osbourne, Flying High Again.
Okay.
Lynyrd Skynyrd, Freebird.
Yeah.
Dan- Dandy Warhol's Bohemian Like You. So there's 23 songs, which I think for a tenner is pretty good. For a tenner is pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess.
But here's the problem: they in the reviews, the recent ones, it says, "Oh, it's amazing since they updated the finger tracking. It works so much better now. It's brilliant."
Thanks for the great review. Here's £20.
And
really?
yeah, it didn't quite work as well as intended.
Whoa. What
I
was
know,
that? What
I
was
know,
that?
I know.
No, what was that?
I know. What was what?
Some guy popped up on the screen and he looked like he was from the 1981.
Oh yeah. So
Rock World
basically,
competition.
it
Dude,
revels.
how'd you tell her this?
It revels in cheese. It
Yeah, it
absolutely
looks
revels in
cheesy.
cheese. So basically, when you start the game, there's a dude who talks you through how to play, and he's literally like something out of an 80s terribly cheesy.
I'm looking
rock
at
band.
the hand, what you have to actually do to play the songs.
Yeah,
And it looks like you're just pressing.
Just moving your hand back and forth.
you
with
are,
this-
but this is on easy mode. So as you get more difficult, you have to lift your fingers off.
So it's either you use 4 fingers, 3 fingers, or
Two
or
fingers, one finger, or two.
And is it
them
tracking you
fingers.
strumming as well?
Yeah. So it tracks
Okay.
both strumming and obviously, but then in parts of the track, you just have to line up. You don't have to strum. So
But
you've got to
correct me
watch
if I'm
out for
wrong. You
those.
don't have an actual like plastic guitar or anything. You
No,
just
no, no,
do
no.
this.
This is all on screen now.
It's-
This
it's
is
that would
called
drive me nuts.
air guitar.
it's called air guitar.
I guess that
Unplugged
makes
air
sense.
guitar.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of difficulty levels. It's the usual thing. There's a crowd, and they scream or not scream if you're doing shit.
I'm not
or
seeing a crowd, but I'll
what's-
take your word for it.
Yeah. No, when you get in, you do go to venues and stuff. So
Okay.
you hear them cheering. I don't know whether you actually ever see people, but you hear them cheering.
All right.
And you can unlock more venues. You unlock more guitars. So it does have a lot
As
going on.
somebody who
on top
plays
of
the
it.
guitar, this looks so infuriating to me.
Yeah, I bet it does.
It just looks
I bet
like
it
looks like what a baby would do if they were given a guitar.
But they've tried their best. I'll give them.
Is that what we've been reduced to on the show? Hey, they tried
they've
their
tried
best.
their best.
Come
I'll give them.
on.
Would
some
you be happy with
props.
that if like you played God of War and it was shit, and you just went, well, they tried their
Well,
best.
They tried their best. There's a lot going for it. I mean, it's slick. The interface is slick. You can use it with a controller, but it's just fucking weird. If you use the controllers, you obviously because it can't track individual fingers, you can only
course.
do 2 things.
Of course, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if I've really mentioned this, but the VR headset is limited. I don't think I've ever talked about it.
No,
Joystick
that can't be
Joystick
right.
J says, "I hope you're all good and well, Stu."
Yeah, I'm fine.
And unfortunately for us, he is. So that's
Yeah,
all good.
That's not very nice.
And Ian said, "I missed Guitar Hero / Rock Band." I do as well.
I do. I wish
Yeah.
I hadn't sold mine. I sold it all.
I sold it all
I gave
as
it
well.
to, yeah, I gave it to Smelly Shop.
Yeah, I wish I kept it, but
Yeah, I do.
what can you do?
I
If
know,
I cared
mine-
enough, I'd buy it back, but I don't.
And
So
I don't. It was cool for its time when it came out.
it was a
but,
place. It was a time and a place. It was like Woodstock.
yeah,
You know, it's
Yeah.
exactly like Woodstock.
exactly like
Right?
Woodstock.
Have you got enough of I want to
Yeah,
be a
there's
guitar
not
player, but it's shit.
Yeah, it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
I did think about getting a refund, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll
Too
give
late,
it another
too
go.
late.
Maybe I'll give it a go. No, I haven't played
Just
enough
get a
of it.
gun and shoot yourself instead.
Maybe I
So
should do
we
that.
Oh,
I've been,
shoot the VR headset.
I've been talking to. I jumped into Discord and spoke to Fraser and the Real Kahuna,
Oh, here we go.
and I was chatting to them about various other things. And the chat came to an end. And they said, "Oh, Chin, you know, like do you play Call of Duty still?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And they said, "Well, you know, do you want to try this DMZ mode
Oh, snap. Here
Oh,
it
here we
comes.
go.
That the kids
here
are
we
playing.
go.
I talked
on-
about this a while ago.
that the kids are playing?" And I says, "I'll give it
Yeah.
a go. I'll give it a go." And so I played with those two, and essentially what it is a bunch of AI are in the game, and then you've got missions, and then throughout the game there are real squads as well. And then once you do something, it'll make you visible and blah 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 blah. I wasn't blown away by it. I thought it was pretty confusing. I know it was my first game. Yeah, it was really, really obvious when you came across a real team. And sometimes the AI was quite a lot because they would swarm you if you're doing a mission. So like, it's not like it's a breeze with the AI. But when you see them just walking around, it is pretty much a breeze. But they can catch you out. So we did a couple of missions, and we came across one team and killed them, and then we killed more AI, and we never come across another team. And then we extracted. I just thought it was a bit boring, to be honest.
Oh no!
I just thought it was a bit
Everyone's
boring.
going mad about this, aren't they? They're all like, "Oh, it's amazing."
I think it might be because it's just a change of pace, and I think people might like it because they feel like they achieve more because
Right.
you're killing AI.
Right. It's not, and it's not all or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the battle royale is all or nothing. But
Yeah.
this is,
Whereas
you
I
got-
died in this, and I was,
perspective.
you know, when you die and you just spectating,
Yeah.
and they brought
Right.
me back, and I was like, oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
know you could do that. So,
I should
yeah,
have mentioned that. You could
I
do
think
that.
I still prefer Warzone over this. And
Yeah.
well, you know, that's basically all I've got to say about it. I mean, it was good to catch up with Fraser and Neil.
Well,
and
yeah,
speak to
games
them.
are better
But
with people.
yeah, so it's always
Yeah,
nice
it's true.
to play with them. But I did play Warzone 2 as well again this week.
Okay.
Because that game used to take over my life, and I used to play it quite a lot. So I played the normal Warzone 2. Well, there's just different types. There's Warzone, and there's like Warzone Skirmish, which is like the same map but a smaller section of it because the map is so fucking massive. And yeah, you've got sort of like a slightly better chance of winning. So we were coming like, I think the best we did was 4th.
Yeah.
And yeah, once you get used to it, it's a bit different because you've got like backpacks and like different types of missions, like Safecracker instead of I forgot what it was called before, but it was like everything's just moved around. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got you live in a room and then you walk out and then somebody else has just rearranged everything in the room and you don't quite know where everything used to be or everything is now. But it's all sort of there. So the great thing is that like I still play well. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter that I don't quite know what's going on. And because Matt and I play in-game chat, we come across, and you always have to have 3. We always have like a random third person come in. We had one guy from Chicago come in, and he was really, really polite, but just like a really nice guy. And we were talking, and I kept on saying, "We're from Shawtown now, baby," and all this sort of stuff. And then we had another guy in from Perth in Scotland, and he was talking about how he works all across the world because he works on like oil rigs and stuff, which is basically what everybody does in Scotland. I don't think anybody else has any other job. So yeah, it's nice. And then of course you got proximity.
No fooling! I'm from North Kiltown.
I didn't know you had a clip of him, to be honest. So the the proximity chat is on. So when you're nearby, you hear people. So like I could hear French people talking. So basically, when you hear another voice, you know that they're close. So what I do, a lot of people in this game, because they're playing it seriously, they shut up, they stop talking.
Right.
But what I do is I say hello.
Not
right?
Chinny.
Yeah, so I say bonjour, bonjour, comment ça va? And there's like bonjour, bonjour, and I was like hello, anglais, anglais, and they goes hello, hello, and I goes and I just say, and honestly, this works. I just say, how are you? Are you having a good day? And they all go, yeah. It's not too bad. And I said, just let you know, I'm not very good at this. I wish you all the best in this little skirmish. And they go, yeah, great, yeah, all good. And then I killed one guy, and I said, I'm really sorry for killing you, but have a good one. He's like, good game, GG. So it's almost like the opposite of Rocket League at the moment, Call of Duty, which is amazing.
Hey, that's great.
I haven't really come across like people that are. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's loads, but
I'm sure there is.
But every time I sort of say, I had a great back and forth with somebody. I was stuck in a house, and I said, "Excuse me, I will run out of this house, but I won't tell you when." And he says, "Yeah, that's fine, no problem." And it's just like you have a nice little chat with the person.
I won't tell you when.
Yeah.
And
then I said, "I'm gonna go now," and I didn't go, and he was like, So I just find that hilarious. I just think that's so funny, and I think Xbox lost something when they brought Xbox parties in. You know what I mean? Because
no, I agree. I do miss that, and I think as I've said, it started with Battlefield, right, with the squads, and I mean, look, it's nice to have parties, but the fact that everybody's on their own Discord, everybody's in their own parties, means that community experience is. I mean, it was great.
More often than not, it wasn't the great experience. Like somebody be playing music or say something bad, but now and again, I mean, we had 2 in a row. We had like 2 guys come in. And I feel like if you really just put yourself out there, if you just say like Duke does, but he does it in text form, because he's autistic apparently, and so like the if I just say hello like that, like because Matt doesn't say anything, he just sort of like keeps stumbling. I say hello, and he goes, oh yeah, and I go, oh, do we have a Scottish person in here? And then I start to just try and engage them in, and
totally.
and they go, yeah, oh yeah, and then. Eventually, you just find something that clicks with them, like, and then this guy just wouldn't stop talking about like oil rigs and stuff like that, and it was interesting,
sure.
And like,
kind of know people.
The guy from I always whenever I play somebody from America, I always say, "Do you have a gun in your house right now?"
Of course you do. We know this question.
And the guy said. The guy said, well, yeah. And I said, it's always yes. Yes, it's always yes.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun way of breaking the ice. So yeah, I like the fact that this game sort of encourages that, and it just encourages you to talk. And I mean, I suppose like when they were developing the game, there was like, wouldn't it be great to have like this tactical advantage of like hearing the other team and and letting the madness play out. Where I think I've heard stories where people like pretend like, oh, I'm down. Right, and they're not, and then like baiting somebody in, which is hilarious. Right. That's really funny stuff.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, just party chat and everything just killed all this stuff. So I do like to play the in-game chat stuff. So I do like Call of Duty Warzone still. I'm not as enamored by it as I used to be, because it's just repetitive and it's the same thing. It's a comfort blanket, but it does take a bit of getting used to. I'm still not quite used to it, but it's still pretty good. So yeah, fine. Warzone 2, like it, but I won't probably play it as much as I did the other one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Duke, I think you've got a couple more left to talk about.
I've got one more. It's a game that Chinny has played and was not crazy about.
Correct.
But it's a game that follows off of a game that I loved. Ghost Recon Wildlands was an awesome game.
It was.
And let me get my notebook off the floor here.
Ooh, there's loads of
stuff
notes.
around. I got my notes. Why was Ghost Recon Wildlands so much fun? Well, one of the reasons was because it didn't take itself super seriously. Yeah, it had videos of El Sueno going up and torturing people and all this horrible stuff, but mostly it was drop you in, go shoot things, have fun, run around, use your tech, and that was it. This game takes itself so seriously. Oh my God. I'll bet if you randomly choose a spot in the video to show, it'll have cutscenes, because this game, certainly at the beginning of it, is like mostly cutscenes, and I'm just like, can I get to the part where I get to shoot people?
I think what put me off about Ghost Recon Breakpoint was like the constant back and forth that you have to do to that HQ area.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the first one, well, not first one, but like Wildlands being that obnoxious about
there's
going.
There's no central area.
There's no central area, and it doesn't help that it's in the fucking mountain. It doesn't help that it's boring to get there.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know if they had fast travel when you were playing it. They do have fast travel.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
good.
I just sort of found that really tedious, and I just don't
It
want
is
the they introduced like a kind of stumbling mechanic down like hills and stuff, and I didn't like that. And
Yeah, that's dumb. I agree.
but because I played this a lot with Marsh, and he started to play it. And he'd like a bit more than I did. I sort of fell off it quite early, and he carried on playing it. And he said, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I'm like, it sounds like you're in an abusive relationship right now. Like, it sounds.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like the core gameplay is still good. Shooting bad guys, figuring out where they are. One of the things I love about it is, well, they have different classes, which I don't really care about one way or the other. But the class I'm using, I don't remember what it's called. It has this sonar vision thing, so you still have the drone you can send up and mark enemies. But then I have this sonar thing, where boom, and it like shows me where the enemies are. And I was like, that's so cool. And it shows them in red on the sonar, which is really nice. Because when you send the drone up, it'll just put a little, triangle over them. And that's hard to see, because the other thing about this game is that it's just packed with all these collectibles, and like even more than Wildlands. And we all agree Wildlands was chock full of them.
Massive, yeah.
But in Wildlands, they were green in order to tag stuff you could give to the rebels, and that was annoying, but I didn't really mind that too much. But now it's like you got to get scale bucks, and then you got to get this stuff, and you got to get that stuff, and it's like I just want to shoot. And occasionally,
they were sort of pushing like some sort of like online store as well.
Well, that's the other thing, right? There's an online store, there's an in-game store, and there's all these different game modes. There's Ghost War, and there's this and there's that. There's an immersive mode.
It might as well have been called Ghost Recon Feature Creep. Do you know what I mean? It was like
right, and they do it. The reason they have the place in the mountain is because there's a hub. Every game's got a hub now, and Destiny has a hub, and this game has a hub. So it's like a hub where you can meet other players and all this stuff, and nobody wants it.
I hate those hubs where you go there, and like you walk in, and then everybody suddenly like the Division has these and Destiny, and people are just jumping on a fucking thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
I just hate
that's
it.
The thing,
it's
is like
the worst.
Right. What's the point of the hub? Like, and it's all Ubisoft, right? Like Ubisoft is loving this. What they want to do is make it a platform where you spontaneously interact with other people, but that's not what happens. No. What happens is while you're trying to use the map, they're doing jumping jacks over your field of vision, so it's harder for you to use the map.
I know I keep doing that. Like that, I don't know why. I just keep, that's
that is Chinny.
Yeah.
So
in the Division, what I like to do in the Division is do jumping jacks in the most inappropriate places, like
well, yeah,
just whenever I can.
Yeah. There's objectives, and the objective map is like there's all these different parts of the objective board, and you're looking at investigations. Like, why do we need these investigations? Because it'll be like, first of all, I don't know if y'all get this way, but when there's like a a quest journal or whatever, if there's a little yellow asterisk that's like new items here, I have to go in and clear them. I have to.
Yeah.
So that happens constantly in here. And most of the time it's under an investigation, and it's like 3 things to solve this mystery. What happened to the boat? And it's like, you find out some piece of information. It's like new info in your investigation tab. It's like, why do I have to go back and keep checking that? And then it's like, resolve the investigation. No. I found out the boat sank because someone took a shit in the toilet. Like, okay, just keep it moving.
You'd have hated
That's
God
not
of
the most
War Ragnarok. There was, for some reason, there was one of those sort of yellow markers on weapons, and it wouldn't go.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't go.
That's so annoying.
And I
Well,
just
that happened
couldn't
in Call of
figure it
Duty
out.
Modern Warfare 1, and eventually they had to put in a button that was like clear away the new
I
indicator.
couldn't figure it out. I was like,
every game
why?
needs to have that.
Why doesn't that go? There's obviously some reason
Yeah.
why. Ian in the
Right.
chat says hubs mean people trying to teabag everyone else, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, well,
it's
there's
just-
that. There's a gear score. You're supposed to keep track of your gear
Well,
score,
just
which
this-
is
this-
weird because
oh,
this is what
God.
doesn't make sense. You have one gun that has, like 92 accuracy or whatever it is, right? And then like 74 handling. And then you'll get another gun that's like 50 accuracy and like 43 handling, but it's got a higher gear score. So it's like, is that going to be more effective against enemies? I can't tell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What to compare one gun to the
I'm watching this now, and it reminds me of Division 2, and it, obviously it's basically Division jungle,
Yeah, right,
isn't it? You
right,
know,
right, yeah.
And it's just this whole sort of gear management and like leveling up your gear, leveling up your character by
Every
leveling
time you
up
get
the
a
gear.
weapon, you got to compare it to
and
the other things.
Look,
you
I
have.
don't care what fucking knee pads I have on. Like, I
Yeah,
don't care. and but then you put some on, and it's so wasteful because in 10 minutes time you'll have 6 more knee pads and like.
Right.
And it's just like if there was, honestly, all I need is like classes, and then you upgrade the guns, right, by points, or XP.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be
exactly.
good progression for me. That would be like, hey,
Sure.
I would really enjoy that. And then now and again, you
Right.
get an upgrade on some of your clothes
Sure,
or
yeah,
whatever.
Exactly.
And but because it's just overload. And it's
Right.
so like constant because they're trying to sell you this shit.
Yeah.
It just passes me by.
And they're also trying to do this whole thing of like it's something new. All these things have something new. There's dialogue options at one point. Why? There's
Yeah.
you're not gonna add a different outcome to the game based on your dialogue options.
Yeah.
It's pure illusion that it matters.
Should
and
I
the-
worship Satan or God? Like, it's not that. It's like,
Who
should I say thank you very much or you're so kind? Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
right,
it's
exactly,
just
exactly,
it's
right.
stupid.
Yeah,
Uh,
arbitrary.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any point.
And
No point.
like I said, the cutscenes are so slow. At one point, there's some flashback or something, and you're watching these people go up an elevator, and it's the elevator cam, whatever. It's got the time code and everything. And the dude, at one point, this person's literally clearing his throat. Like you're just watching it, and he, and it's like, really? You had to show me the dude clearing his throat. You couldn't just cut from one. Come on. So all of that said, I'm enjoying the actual fighting part. I just wish that were a bigger part of the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'll keep playing it because, it is a different place. I actually kind of like the setup for it. There's this tech dude who set up his own like utopia and everything's obviously gone horribly wrong. But yeah, it's just, it could be
So basically,
awesome.
you're loving it. You're just loving the game.
I'm
Well,
enjoying it. I'm not loving it. I'm enjoying
What I loved about Wildlands is it was kind of really based upon the co-op element of it. And even if you
Yeah,
played
sure.
it solo, your co-op partners were like really, really good, and the game was based around like marking 1, 2, 3, so you could like
yeah.
assassinate people.
And
in
you can
order.
do that in here.
Oh right,
But it's
yeah.
just, there's so much other stuff that's
Yeah.
making it. It's heavy.
It's
a
just
heavy
heavy, it's
game
dense.
that doesn't need to be. Wildlands is light and
Yeah.
kind of fluffy, and this game is not light
Yeah,
and fluffy.
yeah.
It should
It
be, but
just-
it's not.
We sort of.
It's frustrating.
I remember Marsh and I playing it when it came out. We were excited for it because we really like Wildlands, and
Yeah, sure.
we sort of just sensed that it wasn't the same. We were playing it, and like
Yeah,
you could kind of hear it in our voice that we were just sort of getting bored, and he really pushed on with it, and he says, look, I am starting to like it now, and I just sort of like Stockholm syndrome with like, the game basically.
Yeah,
So like,
Yeah. He's just feels like he should, so he does.
so yeah, like with you and VR games, like you just
Yeah.
convince
It
yourself
is
that,
true. It's true. I can't
yeah.
lie. It's true.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it's. I didn't play loads of it, so I still have it. I I must have deleted it off my hard drive by now because I don't see it on there. But yeah, it's maybe. I mean, sometimes Marshall and I still play Division 2 though, Duke. Do you know what I mean? Just as a kind of like,
Oh yeah.
what
I
should we
like
play?
Division 2. I
Division
finished
2.
Division 2.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Is it me? No.
Yeah, it is.
I've been hammering Power Wash Simulator.
Oh my
Hammering
God.
it.
Trying to
Hammering
get
it.
done. Is your dad proud of you? That's the question.
Yeah,
That's the
is he?
standard question in simulator games now.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. What have I done? What levels have I done now? I have done.
You were doing the theme park last time that we saw it, fairgrounds or whatever.
Yeah, I've done a boat. I've done a UFO. I've done. Yeah, the boat one was
UFO.
tricky. Yeah, there's a UFO in there as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm on it now. This is the game now. Yeah. So at the moment I'm on the Lost City Palace. So it's basically like a big pyramid, and it's like I've just started it, so it's absolutely filthy.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think this is the last one. I think this is it, and then we're done. So
God, it's enormous, isn't it?
Yeah,
God, it's
it's
fucking enormous.
huge thing. Huge.
It's huge.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
Wow.
helicopter over there. And there's
This
the
is
boat.
a big thing.
Well, what the game
Yeah.
does, what I'll say about it, what the game does like really well is like, it's just a power wash simulator. You know what I mean? It's just a game where you
It does
power
what
washing.
it's doing well.
I think,
Yeah, that's
but
it.
like, there's one where you did a helicopter, and then you see the helicopter later on in the game, or there's one where you do a boat, and you like
nice.
see a
Yeah,
boat.
yeah, sure.
You do the fairground, but like, you did the Helter Skelter, and then you're doing the Ferris wheel, and then you see this. You're like, oh yeah, you get familiar with the game. Do you know what I mean? Like you like oh yeah, like that, and then there's this thing about cats in the game, like the there's like some sort of cat joke running throughout the whole game, and yeah, it's like just basically saying like there's a cat that you keep seeing footsteps of cats and all sorts of stuff, and like there's like the gnome from Half-Life sort of joke in there as well. That's all. Like the gnome's always in every level. There's always like a gnome and stuff.
Huh.
So it's just like they could have done a lot less, but they didn't.
Yeah, right. Sure.
And
Well, I feel that way about the electrician simulator, like the fact that they work in stuff from Stranger Things, the fact that they're giving you this weird, my dad's a
I suppose
snowman.
they've just got to do something, haven't they? So I'm working my way, like I'm basically in training for the Tomb Raider DLC.
Yeah,
so-
I'm gonna play some of that with you. I will definitely have a go.
Yeah,
I think
so-
we should definitely. It's a sort of almost a mission, a big mission that we've got to do is try and clean it.
It might take.
It's going to take a long time. It's going to
might
take a lot of
few
sessions.
Sessions, yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine it will. I'd imagine it will.
Yeah.
So have you upgraded? Have you upgraded your guns and stuff now?
Yeah,
Have you
I've got
better
a.
guns?
I don't like to brag about it, but I've got a Prime Vista Pro. And,
Wow. Is that pretty
and
good?
Ooh,
It
fancy.
gets away because there is like different levels of dirt in the game. I know.
Right.
I've just heard myself and I've died.
I know. A little bit
A
inside.
little bit, but yeah. So sometimes you get like really greasy patches of dirt, and like you have to like take the single beam stream to get rid of it. But not with this one. Not with the Prime Vista Pro. It just cleans that
that's
shit
all in the past now,
right
bitches.
off. But you have to
Yeah.
have 90 stars to unlock it, so you have to have some
Oh my
serious
goodness.
experience.
You've got to play some serious game.
Yeah,
before you
yeah.
get this.
It's
Sorry,
not
here's a question I've been meaning to ask about this actually. Can you fly around in this game, or do you have to walk up stuff? when
So
it's
what
high up?
what you have to do is that you get given scaffolding and ladders. So here's
Okay.
the scaffolding here, and you get to like, oh
Okay.
yeah, you put the scaffold in
Gotcha.
there, and then
Okay,
yeah. So
gotcha.
the one of
You have to move it
the
around and
one of
stuff.
the achievements is to do the fire station without any scaffolding. You know,
Oh,
so
wow.
like there's ways to do it,
Yeah, sure. It's cool.
Yeah. I just imagine them at the power wash simulator shop, like, right, well, what you want to do is get this fucking Prime Vista Pro because those oily fucking greasy steeds are long gone.
Come right off, no
Go
problems.
right off, no problem. You're not the one doing that bloody Lara Croft mansion down the road, are you? Old Billy the Bollocks fucking tried that 10 years ago, nearly died of a hernia. So yeah, it's
He probably had vibration white finger. There you go.
That's it. That's a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. Yep, Power Wash Simulator, still playing it, still making my way through. At this point, I have to finish it because my brain just wants to play it, and I'm just like, well, I have to finish it.
Yeah.
Can I use the water bomber helicopter in the background to wash the thing? No.
No. Otherwise, that'd be a helicopter cleaning simulator.
No, look,
That would be
basically,
kind of cool though if you could
you
get
always
into it,
see
like,
Yeah.
you always see your van, like you always see where you parked your van, and I've come to some lost palace here,
And
on
your
an island,
van's under the
and my
helicopter.
van is
I like
attached,
it.
so that's how I got
I
here.
like that.
That's how I got it.
Oh,
So that's the
crazy.
example of like this game, just like, oh yeah, the game doesn't have to do that, but it's so silly that it does.
It just does
it's like-
anyway. Why not?
It's sort of like charming and relaxing and sort of silly and
I am tempted by. Have you seen the police simulator one that's come out recently? I am tempted
There've
by
been
it.
a
It's
few
quite
police simulators.
it's quite expensive though. It's about 20 odd
yeah.
quid. And I'm like,
Marshy's playing the police simulator game and he bought it and he loves it and his little lad Jude he's loving it. He like loves to play it. And it's just kind of like it's like a GTA level graphics wise, but you're just doing sort of like, oh yeah, like random traffic stops and like now I've got to tow this car and I video called him. Marsh was like, I'm just towing a car. Like, what do you want? Like,
I'm just towing a car.
So I'm telling you, like as we get older, there's going to be a market of games where it's like, oh, here's like a game where you just sort of walk down the park.
Yeah, you don't
and
have to
feed.
concentrate.
Well,
too
to be
much.
fair, there already are games like that. Lake,
Yeah.
that fucking Lake game.
No, but like I
No.
suppose what I mean
There are
is
still
like
missions
it's
to
like
do.
it's games like Police Simulator or Power Wash Simulator where like there's no pressure, there's no timer, there's no.
Well, in Power Wash Simulator, there's pressure on the water. Am I right?
Oh yeah, there
Ha,
is.
ha, ha.
High pressure.
I know what you mean,
High
Chinny.
pressure.
Yeah, chill games. Yeah.
Chill games, and
Yeah,
as we all
And
get
I'm glad
older,
to see it. Yeah.
Because we
Well,
you know
and I was
like,
trying to. Sorry, I was trying to explain to some teachers. We had a sort of professional development day on Friday, and it was I was talking to them like I'm playing this electrician simulator game. They're like, what? And I was like, well, that's the thing is like gaming has really opened up. There's lots of different kinds of games now.
yeah, when
There is.
when we're all in retirement homes, right?
That is. It's going to happen.
I ain't gonna sit there wanting to play fucking bridge. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
Well, no.
if they go, right, we got like a bunch of cards. Do you want to play bridge? I'm like, no, I don't know how to play that because no one played that since. Fucking
What about Dominoes? Oh, Dominoes is pretty good.
Dominoes
Well,
is
I
pretty
think
fun.
that those games are popular right now in older folks' homes because that's what they used to play back.
That's
in the
what they
day,
used to
and
play.
it'll
That's
be
what I'm
different for
saying.
us.
Because for us, because we didn't play that shit, we'll be like, but where's
Playing-
Elden Ring?
I bet I can chop your left hand off.
I want to
Yeah,
play
don't give-
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And then they wheel it out and they go, no, I need the easy
Don't give
mod.
me none of that shit.
Yeah.
And now I
You
need
know.
super easy because of the arthritis.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but there'll be a version of Elden Ring by then where you just press one big red button and it'll just sort of kill them.
Yeah. You win.
So like, yeah, there's a market for it. Like as we all get older, like I don't want to stop playing games, but the games
No,
that I
of
will
course not.
play,
That's
will
what I'm
have
looking forward
to
to in my retirement, man.
but-
It's
but
gonna be all
the
gaming
games
all
that
the
I'll
time,
have to
goddammit.
play
Fuck you and your papers, kids.
will have to change. Like I remember filming like this for this. I filmed for this hospice, right? So we went round this like this guy's house who's looking after his brother, and his brother's like really ill and all that sort of stuff. And they're both in their 80s. These old guys, like these brothers, and they're so sweet and they're so nice. And unfortunately, the one who was really ill, he passed away like the week after we filmed him. But he was really like jolly and happy and really happy to do it. And he fell asleep at one point, but who cares? He's fucking 80s, so he can do what he wants. And his brother was really nice, and he was showing us around the house, and he had loads of like medals from when he was like in service and all this sort of stuff. And you could just tell he's like getting a kick out of showing us his house and stuff. And I saw his like, he had like a PC, and I was like, oh, you got a PC,
yeah.
and it's like, oh, I could tell it was like a gaming
That's
PC.
just for pornography.
No,
the
honestly,
hardcore
we went into this room. It was like a really sort of old man's house. Do you know what I mean? Like everything, like old man. And then he had like a gaming rig, and I went, "What the fuck is that?" All right, and like, and he said, "Oh, my son set that up for me. Like it's for my airplane simulator stuff."
Yeah, there you go.
And I was like,
Yeah,
"Fucking
man, a
no
lot of
way!"
people
And I
I
was like,
think,
and he's
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I love it. I
Now
love
you
it."
got Stu's attention.
And he
How about Red-
basically just used to play Flight Simulator with this
Yeah.
stick, and he had like the what like the proper console for it, and he would just sit there. And he says, "Oh, I'll just sit there for hours and I'll just play. Like I don't watch TV. I just do
Yeah.
that." And I'm like, "There you go. Like this guy, like who's
That's
he was born
He's
in
the
19
hero.
like fucking 40 or whatever, 1935, and he's just
Yeah.
sitting there." Playing video games, you know, like in his and he's just flying and he's happy as fucking anything, and it
Well,
probably
Red Van Man in the chat has said, I think a flight sim like that. I just flew Maverick F-18s over Barcelona, where I went
Yeah.
for 4 days a couple of weeks back. I
there's
flew
no
all
point.
over the
There's
places.
no point.
I've
You just
been.
do it. You just do it.
Yeah.
And then
It's
and
fun.
the old guy, he told me he was playing Flight Simulator and he was flying over Silverstone Racecourse, and this other plane came and called him a fucking noob.
Yeah, no, that happened. That
By
happened.
the way, you mentioned Maverick. Did y'all see all the goddamn Academy Award nominations that Top Gun Maverick got? What the fuck is that?
I know, yeah. Kay said that.
kidding
Kay's
me?
like, that's not a film that gets Oscars.
No, why are they giving that
Well,
Oscars? Because
well,
they're like,
it
we
can
love
be.
an action movie. Fuck you. And meanwhile, Jordan Peele, nope, didn't get any award nominations. Seriously.
It
But
wasn't
we
my-
did watch All Quiet on the Western Front last night. That's a fun, uplifting movie
Yeah.
about World War One.
I wasn't keen on Nope, just saying.
I wasn't
Oh,
keen
well,
on
you-
Nope.
because
I
you
wasn't
s-
keen on
both
Nope.
of
I
you
don't
suck.
think it was his strongest film. No.
No, I don't.
But I thought it
Yeah.
was. I was probably more positive on it than most.
Yeah.
But and I really
I loved it. I think it's awesome.
I love the fact that all the night scenes were filmed in the day and then just sort of colorized. I thought that was really cool because it gives you like a really good. The night scenes in that film look like no other night scenes you've ever seen ever in any film,
Yeah.
and I just thought that was
Agreed.
really interesting. I liked some of the mysterious stuff. I didn't really like the boss fight, as it were. Do you know what I mean? Like I just, yeah, I prefer his other films like Get Out. And,
It was too much style over substance for me.
Yes,
Well,
there's a
I
lot
think
of
there's
that, yeah.
substance. It's just hard to dig around and try to make sense of it.
Yeah, but
That doesn't mean it's not substance. It just because it's not user accessible doesn't mean there's no substance there.
I honestly, when I saw Get Out and then I saw, was it Us, the other one?
Us, I really liked it.
I really liked Us, and I was like, I don't know if I like Us more than Get Out. I couldn't, I couldn't divide the two.
Get Out's
Kinds of
really good as
stories,
well.
So I was sort of, I wasn't saying like I was really like down on Nope. I just thought
I
it's-
just
it's
found
all
it a bit
right. It's all-
pretentious.
yeah,
It was a
it's
bit pretentious claptrap.
I
yeah.
won't argue that it's not. I won't agree. I argue that it's not pretentious. It is in some ways pretentious, but that's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
I
I like stuff that's it's kind of obtuse, but I felt like there were things I could get a hold of.
You
so
get
that's just-
payoff, which
Yeah.
in films in obtuse films where like, there's pennies falling from the sky and there's a fucking
Right.
killer monkey, and you're like,
Well, it's
this is all weird, but
Right.
but
But there are, and here's the
some
thing. Look,
obtuse
Get
things
Out
you
was
don't get.
very clear about what's going on. Like they
Yeah.
explain it all.
Yeah.
Us, much less so. Nope, even less so. But I feel like the reason I like it is for the same reason I like some Coen Brothers movies, is that I can find connections between things in the story, even though there isn't one like this is what it means. There are ways I can make sense of parts of it, and
I don't think I needed more explanation of what was going on. I just thought like, I thought it was too slow. If I'm
Yeah, it
honest,
was.
like, I
Kay-
just thought it
Kay
was too
said
slow.
I won't dispute
Kay
that.
said
Yeah,
it was
no, I agree.
boring. Kay's like, this when's something going to happen?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just thought it was
yeah,
too
we
slow.
went to the pictures, and it was the first thing we'd been to the pictures to watch since lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
We'd not really been to, and then she's like, "When's something going to happen?
Yeah, it's too slow. It's too
is a
slow.
very
Why did you
slow
bring me to
movie,
watch
actually.
this?"
I just did. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was slow.
And she likes it. To be fair to Kay, she loves Get Out and us. She loved both of those movies,
Yeah.
but hated it. Absolutely hated it. She's just like, it's just boring.
Anyway, was it news now, or no? Is there other people? Duke, are you done? Or is,
No, I
I'm
think
done.
we're all
Yep,
we're
I'm
all done.
It's
There is
time
a
for
bit
the
of news, not loads.
Putting news first.
Alex broke their silence about.
I think we've got to start with the elephant in the room this
Okay.
week, which is which is Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because this is coming out, I think, this week.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the developers.
Which
of
is,
this. I
this is
must-
basically Warner Brothers trying to distance themselves from the words Harry Potter, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
basically,
you can't make money off of it at one moment and then try to not make money off of that name the
Well,
next. Like,
this is where Duke would approve of buying this off CD keys.
no, I wouldn't. No. There's there are other ways to protest besides pirating stuff.
Well, it's not pirated. It's not. They're not pirated off CD
Gray
keys.
market, then.
The grey market, but there's not
Grey
as much
market.
goes to. There
I
won't
th-
be as much goes.
I don't usually take a stance
to
on
the
things like
people.
this, but I think for this instance, I feel like boycotting this game because of some things that J.K. Rowling said
Rowling said.
is not the right decision. Now, if somebody chooses to do it, I don't like massively disagree with them. I just feel like she's had such little involvement. I know she'll probably get like money
It's based
from it.
on her world, so she
Yeah.
will get money,
But-
licensing money.
But like, there's a lot of people that worked hard on it. It's not really associated with her. Yes, she gets a cut, but a lot of more evil people than her get cuts of things from things you buy all the time.
That's true.
Let's reward the people that work hard on it. It's a new game. It's a game. It's a game that I want to see more of. Like, which is like top tier AAA games based on like a good franchise that people like. And I'm not even a Potter fan. I've never watched a Potter film, but I just feel like it's a bit much. But if somebody chooses to boycott it, fair play. Good for you. Fight the power and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like you're not really doing much damage here, and you sort of cutting yourself short and cutting a lot of other people and damaging a lot of other people's problems.
Sure, but I mean, okay, and I hear you, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. And I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I probably wouldn't buy this if I were. I think that I think the response to that is she's doing it to them. You know what I mean? Like the people who are protesting are trying to say there's a cost to trying to erase the humanity of trans people. And I know that she wouldn't say that's what she's doing. That's a classification of things. I'm just saying like that. I think knowing a bunch of people who are choosing not to buy this, or that love Harry Potter but are angry at J.K. Rowling, their attitude is yeah, I think they would agree with you that it's in some ways not fair to punish people who don't share her views or anything like that. But that we want to make it clear that this is problem when someone expresses that, and unfortunately people are going to get hit with that collateral damage.
I think this is one of these problems that doesn't matter. No. Let me explain that. Right, I don't think people care about this when they buy this game. Like, I think we do because we're informed, and
some people do, some people don't.
But like, I've seen adverts for this game fucking everywhere, right?
Well,
So I
course,
think
they're
this
gonna
is
try to
this,
sell it, yeah.
this game is going to be a hit. This game is going to be a hit because, like, I just don't think people really like give a shit that much about that stuff.
Well, and to be fair, right? I mean, that's probably true. And the fact that some people say it's not going to be a hit is probably, what news outlets are trying to get people's eyeballs, and they can do that if they make it into this huge controversy.
Yeah, I mean, you've with news, they want to make a story, don't they? They want to make something clickable, so they have a motive as well. And even if it's not clickbait per se, it's making people interested in some topic that what topic can I think of that will make people really interested in something that I write? And it's
and to be fair, they also recognize that there is a significant portion of the Harry Potter fan base that would normally go nuts for this, that are saying no thanks because of whatever. So
yeah, I have no.
I'm interested.
massive-
Can I just
massive
say,
opinion on it.
I'm interested in it because I like the world of Harry Potter, and I don't necessarily agree with J.K. Rowling and how she's gone about things and what she's said, but I don't think I'm with Ginny on this. I think that it's not. It shouldn't be a direct reflection on a game developer, even though it's based on an IP.
Now,
That was.
I say that, and I'm not part of I'm not a trans person, right? So I can. That's my opinion.
it's a lot easier for us to have an objective,
that's what I mean.
perspective when
So,
it's not us.
If
If J.K. Rowling had said, "I am opposed to interracial romances," My guess
Yeah,
is
I
we
probably-
wouldn't be quite so like.
well, I don't know. I'll probably
whatever.
still play it.
I don't want
but
to punish.
I-
Well, okay.
Probably still.
But Chinny
play
has
it.
but there's a level of intellectual honesty there because you have a tendency to say, well, there's my beliefs over here, and then there's my gaming over here.
yeah,
And,
but
that's
also,
your
but if she said something about snooker, I would kick off.
Yeah, yeah.
I would kick off.
Snooker's
and
a
if she said something
stretch.
about Wolverhampton sucking, you'd be like, where do I buy the
Yeah,
game?
stretch
Yeah,
too far.
I feel like, well,
I'll
she's
hit
just
right
spitting truth if she's talking about what.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I'm not a trans person, am I? So it hasn't really affected me, and I know when someone has affected Tara in sort of issues that she sort of is very sort of against and stuff, she can't get it out of her mind. Do you know what I mean? She cannot she can't move on.
Right.
You know,
And
like
she
she
probably
can't
would say,
listen.
I don't want to give my money to a person who has.
She can't listen to an R. Kelly song in peace.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, of course.
I don't agree with what R. Kelly did, but when Ignition Remix comes on, I'm dancing. I don't care who you are, right? Like you know, it's a great song. So I can maybe. Not that like it's a good thing, but I can sort of separate the artist from the thing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like,
which is fair.
Well,
I
and
mean,
everybody
that's
has
a fair
their
way
own
to put it.
levels
yeah.
of that.
I mean, I was playing High on Life this week, and Justin Rowland he got arrested for
He's a
domestic abuse.
schmuck.
Yeah, so he's a you know, he's been doing some bad things. So,
Violence,
but
as you
it
say.
didn't. While I was playing the game, I was kind of like, it's unfortunate that somebody who's so funny, who I've really sort of
Right,
enjoyed his
right.
work, has done something so terrible. I get that, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't really stop playing the game. And
Yeah, you don't have the two interconnected in such a way that it puts you off playing the game.
Because and the other thing, I mean, it's a sort of similar situation in the way that like Justin Rowland has now left the company, the games company, the production company that makes Rick and Morty, and Rick and Morty have announced that they're going to be working on season 7, and there's a lot of hard people and there's a lot of writers, and they're going to replace him with a sound alike and all this sort of stuff. But so there's a lot of other people that work there that are doing really good work, that are good people, funny, talented, and it's almost it's like all right, well, hang on, like it's just one person. And I know in the Harry Potter instance it's a bit different because she's top dog, you know, she's top boy, you know, she's roadman, she's earning those
Oh,
peas.
just don't. Why'd you have to bring up Top Boy?
Yeah, and
motherfucker?
so
Yeah, the
she
dog.
it's
you
a little different, but like you know,
knew
it's-
it.
I just don't think it's like. I don't think it's gonna make. You know, Ollie at work, he's just all on this Harry Potter game, and he's not a massive like Harry Potter fan. He just likes the look of it. You know, he's like, I just keep looking at it, and I
Right.
just
It does
keep-
look cool. It does
looks
look cool.
good. It looks
Of
good.
course, it's the game you would want if you were a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's a
is.
shame.
I'm for one. They're probably gonna play it. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah. I don't think I'll play it. I just because I have no interest in Potter, but
No.
it looks good. Like I'm really glad
It's
that
very good.
you know a franchise that was renowned for having like really bad licensed games has now got a game that's like
Yeah.
worthy of like a AAA video game, which people are really excited about. That's cool. You know, that they've transformed what you think. You know, if I'd have sold you like 15 years ago that one of the biggest games potentially this year is a Harry Potter game, you'd have laughed at me. You'd have gone, "What the fuck are you
Right.
talking about?"
Yeah, sure.
But now you know it is. It could be one of the biggest games of the year.
It is. Could be.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, super quick news. Super quick news.
Super news.
HBO's The Last of Us has officially been renewed for a second season already after only
Aw, snap.
releasing 2 episodes.
I haven't watched the
Uh,
second episode.
No,
yet.
I haven't yet, but I
We
will
have. We're
I will
better
do.
than you.
do. Okay. Naughty Dog is done with Uncharted and might not make a Last of Us 3 unless the story is
Really?
good enough. So
I-
they're
I've-
saying that.
Well, I mean,
I'll-
I would assume that's always the case with Naughty Dog, because they put story before everything. But
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I,
they're done. Uncharted is done.
I was thinking about
Okay,
like
okay.
Neil Druckmann, because he so wants to be a film director. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
like
he
when he
does.
was making his games and stuff, like he's basically living out his film director fantasy, doing those things.
yeah, sure.
And now
And
he's
now
doing
that
it for
he's-
reals.
Now that he's doing it for real, I remember thinking, like, I don't know where I was, in the car or wherever, thinking like I wouldn't be surprised if like Naughty Dog sort of like have a not a nosedive or like a but like a different like there's
A sabbatical. They have a
yeah, sabbatical or like
Take
the-
some
the-
time
like
off.
their next game won't be like the guaranteed hit that we think it will be.
Mm,
Yeah, you know, I'm sure there's other talented people that work there that are not Neil Druckmann, but you know, there was Amy Hennig before that and all that sort of stuff. But
Neil Druckmann's a really cool guy. I mean, we got to just be clear.
yeah, I mean, he's your mate, isn't he? But
anytime it comes up, someone was like, "We've been watching this show on HBO," and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be The Last of Us." And she's like, "It's about zombies." I'm like, "The Last of Us?" And then, let me show you this tweet.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
can you please leave me alone now? I'm trying to eat my lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're done apparently. So we'll watch this space. I guess.
Well, good
Uh,
because Uncharted is done. You know, so, like, I haven't even played for, but like you know, it's
Quit while you're ahead.
They've
yeah.
told the story. I like things ending. You know, I like things to
Right,
end.
right,
Like,
sure.
and I look forward to 20 years time when they bring that shit back.
GoldenEye 007 is on Game Pass now.
Yeah, I almost played it for this show, just as a kind of like I know what I'm gonna get. You know what I mean? It's fucking GoldenEye, and
It's the same, isn't
yeah,
it? It's
yeah.
just been high-resed up a little bit.
I was thinking about streaming it or something, and just like saying, "Hey, here I am, I'm playing GoldenEye." But
there's no online apparently. There's
yes,
no
yes,
online
there's no online,
multiplayer,
yeah,
which everyone's very annoyed about.
yeah, there's no online. I you know, it's a time and a place. GoldenEye. I'll be interested to see what this one plays like. I was a huge GoldenEye fan. I mean, for a long time, it was my favorite game ever until I played it again about 20 years later.
And then you're like, ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, it was great. I mean, it was. I think it's easy to forget how much of a phenomenon GoldenEye was at the time. It is like it is a time and a place, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful game.
Very good. Yes, Xbox gaming revenue down by 13%.
Yeah, well,
Interesting.
But Game Pass reaches new highs.
so how does that work?
So basically, it's the 12% decrease in revenue year on year for the quarter two or something like that, and a 13% reduction in hardware revenue. But yeah, apparently that they're largely in line with previous expectations and attributed to a strong prior year. So it's basically because he just sold so many last year.
Right.
So it's sort of just a natural drop in you know, people wanting to
There's
buy
going to
them,
be
I
ups
guess.
and downs, yeah.
Yeah.
It's natural.
But despite that, there are increases for game streaming hours and monthly active devices, and its monthly active users for Game Pass has surpassed 120 million in the recent quarter.
Wow.
So they're
That's
doing
pretty
okay.
fucking good. It's pretty fucking good. Yeah. So there you go. But that doesn't mean that's just so much, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So they're doing well. They're doing all right. And I think that might be it. Something else. Let me have a look. Yeah, Gollum has been delayed again.
Yeah,
Lord of the
it's
Rings
kind of
game
like
Gollum.
in a bit of a state, isn't it? That game, it keeps
Yeah,
getting
it's been
delayed.
again.
Which you know what
Third
tells
time.
me? It's like it doesn't sound like it's going to be good. You know,
It's always worrying.
It's always worrying.
Sometimes
But
it means
worrying.
that they're putting the right amount of polish.
when a
on it,
game is
right?
like delayed a few times, like maybe 2 times or something, it's like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, it's like
right.
they're polishing it up. When a game's delayed this much, it kind of tells me that
Yeah.
like
No,
they
I hear
haven't
ya.
found the fun in the game, and they're not.
Yeah,
It's not
that
good.
certainly is possible.
Yeah.
There's been some. Do you remember the announcement of the day before a zombie MMO?
Yeah, very. I saw a bit about this. It's kind of like a zombie.
Well, people are
MMO,
now claiming it's
DayZ,
vaporware.
vaporware.
So
yeah.
basically, what's happened this week? It was meant to release next week. I think.
Wasn't
it
there a
was.
trademark issue with it though?
Yeah. So basically, what they've said, we can't release. We've got to delay it till November
Yeah.
because we didn't trademark the name and somebody else has now.
Yeah.
So we've got to wait or something. So basically, they come up with this really weird cock and bull story about trademarking the name.
But that could be
that's-
true.
It could be true.
It could be true.
Possible.
They're saying
People,
when
you
they were
know, how people
questioned-
scalp like PlayStation 5s and stuff. People
Yeah.
scalp brand names all the time. It's like a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. But he says we didn't take a penny from people. There's no crowdfunding, no pre-orders, no donations. The game is fully funded by Mytona, which is a development company, I guess. It's a mobile publisher who check the game's build at every milestone per our contract. So they're saying it's all made, but they just can't release it. So who knows? Who knows what's true anymore?
Who knows?
Okay, that's it for news. There isn't a lot else.
Super
But
quick news.
we have got a speak pipe. And
Oh yeah.
Speak Pod.
type. It's the way to leave a
No,
message
it's
for
crap.
us.
Dave Ernsberger. This is our buddy who told us to play Death Stranding, and then we did for a little bit, and I said I might play more, and then I didn't.
No, of
He's
course you
probably
didn't.
calling to express his sadness and woe. Let's find out.
That's fine.
Hey guys, it's Dave Ernsberger again. Just leaving you the third and final installment, I think, of my trilogy of speak pipes around Death Stranding. So hey, thanks for the half-hearted attempt to play the game. Actually, it's good that you gave it a go, and at least you now know what it's about.
I won't deny that my attempt, at least, was half-hearted. so,
Wow,
I mean,
that is a
he's not
dig.
wrong.
It's a
He's
dig
not
right
wrong.
there.
Oh, I thought you said he's being a dick. I'm like, no, he's not.
No, it's a dig.
It is a bit of a dig,
He's
but
throwing
it's not an
shade on you,
inaccurate
man.
dig.
He's throwing shade on you.
He's not wrong. I don't mind if you're accurate.
And to
I
be fair,
suppose
Chini
my
didn't play it at all.
I suppose my conclusion from that whole affair is we all have different gaming styles.
That's
so no
right.
surprises there. I'm currently 30 hours into Ragnarok, only about halfway through, and it'll take me 60 or 70 hours to finish that game, and I'll enjoy the story as I go. So anyways, Duke, you'll have to take my word for it that there's a deep story in there, and all those themes I talked about in the first call-in are embedded within it. And if they're not, you'll never know. Anyways, I guess my last question is, Duke, where do you get your story fix from in gaming? Do you enjoy the stories of any games? Or are you just a Rocket League player looking for a quick hit, dopamine rush, in and out, and over? Maybe those essay marking marathons you're on have eaten away at your joy of stories in games. Anyway, thanks again, guys. See you later.
So thank you for asking. It's an excellent question.
That David, is one of my favourite speak pipes of all time, and I'll tell you why. Because it's so passive aggressive. It's like, fine.
Yeah, it is.
You didn't like that Precious game that I liked.
Half-hearted attempt.
So what stupid fucking games do you like then? Like, or is it
Let me
fucking
get
Rocket
Rocket
League?
League.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dave, that was very funny. Thank
Now,
you so much
can
for
I
sending in
just-
a speak pipe, David.
I love it. Let me ask Duke a question. Here's why I love it. Let me ask a
No,
question.
I was
Go
just
ahead,
gonna
Stu.
say. In
I was just
Duke's
gonna
defense-
say. I want $1 every time.
I'm
Stu says- I
defending
was
you
just
here,
gonna
for God's sake.
Well, I wanted to kind of talk, and then you could defend me. But you go ahead.
I was just going to defend you. I said, in your defense, you like a lot of games with stories.
Yes, and that's what I would say if I had a chance to say it.
Well, say
I
it
do
then.
like a lot of stories. I loved The Walking Dead season 1. I really liked season 2. Gone Home is a great story. I think Red Dead Redemption 1 is one of the greatest stories in video games. I think Mass Effect, especially 2 and 3, did a very good job with story. Two more than 3. I will never say that Bethesda makes good stories in gaming, although some of the stories in Oblivion had some interesting
They make
elements in
good
it.
short stories, is what I would say.
They
Yeah.
do. There
Yeah,
are
they do.
some the side quest stories in Bethesda
Yes,
games are often
yes.
very cute. The cult that was trying to get on the rocket in New Vegas is a great
I,
story.
I like the Town
Um,
of Dave in Fallout 3. I think.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
Town of Dave
very,
is
very
great.
good, very
In
good.
Fallout 3 they had the town where they're eating each other and that was cute.
Yeah, very fun.
Well, there's the one in 76 where they have this place that, and it's tricky in Fallout because a lot of times it's like you learn about it after the fact, which is the case in this one. This school where they were training people to be spies, and it was based on this old-timey radio drama that this woman did, but then she actually took on the persona of the character, which I was surprised to get a good story in Fallout 76 because it's kind of a mess in general. Yeah, I mean, look, but you're not wrong when you said that, marking story, having to read. So if I were a science teacher, I'd probably have more patience for story in gaming. But I do read a lot of student stories. I read a lot of literature with my students, and as a result, my brain is fried when I get home, and I don't really want to follow a story. But it may be that my brain would be just as fried if I were a science teacher. or
I
a
think
history
so. I
teacher or
think
something.
that sort of feels the same with me. It's like, if you've had a long day or whatever, it's like I just, the power wash later or whatever it's just like it's just a chance to sort of switch off. You know what I mean? It's like, and you've really got to be with God of War Ragnarok or with Elden Ring. Once it's got you, it doesn't really matter because you enjoy
Right.
going in. But it takes a bit of like when a game doesn't have a hold on you, it's a bit of a chore to switch it on.
Right.
But once you've learned its systems and you sort of in,
Right.
then it's a pleasure to turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah, and as we've said before, games have a special kind of challenge because you know, a TV series like Game of Thrones that has, you know, what, 7 seasons, 10 episodes each, an hour for each episode, you're going to watch those in hour-long chunks. With games, it's not quite the same thing. You're often going to go longer without playing it. You're going to play in smaller pieces, and it has the burden of gameplay.
Yeah.
And of course, TV shows and movies don't have that. So it's, you know, I think that storytelling in games, first of all, it's in its adolescence. We're just starting to figure out how to tell story in games. And the fact that your average AAA game these days requires 30 hours minimum for you to follow it to get the story, it's asking a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, I famously, you know, wrote a really comprehensive piece about Last of Us 2 without ever having played it, because I just went on YouTube and bloop, bloop. Which I should do for Death Stranding. I really should, you know, like I'm curious.
I don't think it's the same though, because it's not quite as cinematic as, well, it is, but not story wise.
It's not as followable, probably.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it is definitely, I mean, you're going to talk about Nope being obtuse and weird and nothing happening. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that in the same way.
I think if you're if you're a lover of stories and receiving stories and you know learning about stuff, video games is pretty sparse, really, in terms of great ones.
And right, and I think that people who tell stories in gaming, you know, like Inside is a good example of an obtuse kind of story, because you don't ever really find out what's going on. You kind of do, but you don't get like any explanation. And I think that with games like Death Stranding, you know, I think that I have more patience for it in a 2-hour movie than I do a 30-hour game. So
yeah, I think there was a fewer missions that you should have included in your games with stories. Portal 2, of course.
Oh well, hell yeah.
Portal 2.
Beautiful.
Mist. I think you should have included that.
Riven is a better example of a story in a game, because Mist has a pretty bare bones story. But yeah,
it is still kind of cool though. It's kind of cool.
It's great, yeah.
And To the Moon, I think, as
To the Moon is a good example of story in game.
I think Red Dead 2 is also.
Red Dead 2. GTA 5's pretty good. GTA 5's pretty good.
I think GTA 5's good.
I think
felt
GTA
like
4 is. GTA 4 is a better story than 5, I think.
I think that Red Dead 2 is recycling a lot of the stuff in Red Dead 1.
Yeah, Red Dead 1 for me is still better.
And it hit harder because it was first, so whatever.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, thank you, Dave. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. We do like games. Duke does like games with stories, rest assured.
Duke does like games.
He does like games occasionally.
Promise you.
Right, it's time for some emails. Let's do those.
Nice.
Ooh, we did usually we do emails first, but now we're going to do the second. So suck it, people.
Maybe people should think before they speak. That rule. Yes, the first email this week is from Jason. It's entitled "The Switch, the Horse, and Duke's Goats."
Okay, what's up, goats?
Hey Stu, the PS finally re-stroked the horse. I can't believe these are a thing. I can't believe these are an actual real thing. I can't believe I bought a Switch. I like that they actually have demos of decent games, but I'm playing Breath of the Wild again. Still love it.
Christ.
Oh, it's a good game. Shut up. I tried Stu's favorite latest from Software.
Oh no.
Game. If they would utilize the easy mod on console, but without it, it's got to be the worst game of the year, not the best. Hey, Chinny.
Hello.
I've been playing the Mario Hat game, Odyssey. It's okay.
Yeah.
I absolutely love 3D World, but what's the best Mario 2D that is newish?
The one on the DS, I forgot the name of it, but there's one where, I don't know, I think it's like New Super Mario Brothers, and it's on the DS. I thought that was brilliant, and that was all 2D, and I just remember absolutely just loving it, and I thought it was so clever. So, yeah, one on the DS.
There you go. I'm loving the subscription for all the old games like Punch-Out as well. Duke, I'd love to hear what you thought of Stroke the Horse. Cheers, Jason.
Well, I have nothing to say about it because this is the first time I've heard of it, but I suppose I could look it up.
Look it up. Stroke the Horse.
Is this supposed to be like?
It's a real game. There's a load.
Well,
of
no,
these
I believe
games
it's a real game. I just wonder if he's wondering if I would connect it to stroking an actual goat.
I have no clue. Who knows how Jason's
So
mind
I'm looking at a
works?
video now. It's what is it? PS exclusive? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. These are all on
Okay.
PlayStation.
So I'm
stroke
looking at there's
something.
like a picture of a horse, and it's just a picture of a horse.
Is that it?
And the dude, I don't know. It's just this guy's face now.
Wow.
I don't know if maybe that's a bad video of it, but I don't know.
Anyway,
so
let's.
Metacritic says it is a dream of many to own a horse or to bet on one. I don't know if this is out yet. January
Oh, is it?
20th,
Oh, maybe it's-
2023. Oh no, it's
Oh,
out.
it's been announced.
There's
has
no
it?
reviews. That's weird.
Well, it's because it's crap. Okay, next email is off Blake Gaylord, and he says, "Thank you for the recommendation."
You're welcome.
He says, "Hi guys, I just got back from London and Ireland and wanted to say thanks for the recommendation to go to the Walkie Talkie building
Aha.
Okay.
and get a good view of the city."
That
Had
was
a
my
great time-
recommendation.
It was your recommendation.
Yay.
Had a great time in London and loved the public transportation. Favourite part about the public transport is that it doesn't smell like piss.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope you all gave Elden Ring a shot because it's a really great game. Well, you know, it's funny you should say that.
I don't know if
think
you've
we've made
mentioned
it
it.
clear
Stu.
that
I
one
don't
of
know
us has
whether
given
you've
it
been
a
listening
shot.
to the last few episodes, but God, that game is good. It definitely gives you that sense of wonder when you get to explore a EOS game. I don't know what EOS is. EOS, what does that mean? Am I just old now?
I think that's the company that makes it, isn't it? Dark Souls.
No,
and-
I don't.
Is
think
it
so. It's
ESO
From
though?
Software.
No, ESO.
EOS.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Anyways, I'm back in Florida. I hope you all have a great week. Keep on gaming. So thank you for
Ah,
that.
There we go. I'm glad you enjoyed the walkie-talkie building. That's
Yeah,
right.
glad you enjoyed
Yeah.
walkie-talkie.
It's a
And,
great
and your
view.
time in the UK.
It's a great view and it's free, which
Free.
is rare in London.
Hey y'all, I just
London, it
exported
is.
my second to last class. I only got one more. What?
Whoa.
Okay, here we go. Preposterous 10 of
Okay.
52. 10 of 52.
Inconceivable.
Well, I hope this isn't too late for this week's show, but if it is, then I am certain that it will be a huge relief for all concerned. This week, after Lady Week's admission that landmine removal might be a good thing, I wanted to draw your attention to the jaws of life. I think that meant to say after last week's admission. I'm like, what's Lady Week's admission?
Yeah.
That's also correct for you there. Most will have seen the coverage of these amazing tools being operated by the fire and rescue services the world over, but few will know that they were developed directly from technology used by NASA to separate devices on the space shuttle. Brilliant. Have a good
Wow.
week and stay safe, all strutty. Now, you see, what he's doing now, right, he's going, oh, this was made and it saved loads of lives. Now, we had this last week and now we've got it again this week. I can see what he's doing here.
Yeah.
He's making it difficult for me to go, oh, yeah, but you know what?
Isn't that exactly what he's been trying to do, though?
I know,
Well,
this
yeah,
is
but-
I feel like it's the same
but
process over and over every week.
This is not directly come from space. I'm just
Stop
saying.
trying.
It's not come from space.
Strutmeister, you need like an object that came from space.
Not necessarily, no. It can be just something that's been discovered in space that then has been utilized on Earth. So it doesn't have to be an object or a rock or an asteroid or something like that. It just needs to be something they've discovered by space exploration that has had a material
Hey
benefit
Frank,
to the
look at
Earth.
this! Look at this fucking telescope! Look at that! That somebody's written the cure for cancer on the surface of Mars. Can you believe this shit?
That's
Hey,
exactly.
this alien just
There
handed
you
me this
go.
pill
Now
for
you're
HIV.
talking.
What about that?
What the fuck is
Now
this
you're
about? Huh?
talking.
Forget about it.
What the
Forget
fuck?
about it.
Hey, why are we
Forget
running a
about it.
fucking observatory anyway? We're
Forget
fucking
about it.
mafia guys. What
Like
the
for
fuck?
instance, I own a real life thing that's been developed because of NASA.
What?
Did you know
nappies?
that?
What?
Nappies?
No, I've got a moon swatch, and the moon swatch is based on the Omega Moon Watch, which was used by NASA on the Apollo 11.
Yeah, but they
mission.
didn't find the fucking watch on,
Yeah,
on
they
the
didn't
moon,
find
did
it
they?
on
No,
the
they
moon.
didn't. But it was developed as a result.
Well, then
of
it doesn't
space
matter, and I
exploration.
hate it. Now
Shit.
everything sucks.
So there you go. I
Hey,
don't even know.
Hey,
one of
blow
these
it up.
things.
I look
Throw
through
it
this
in the
telescope.
river.
I've just seen in the Pillars of Creation that they've left the code for fucking Pac-Man in there.
Exactly. That's what I want. There you
Yeah.
go. That's what I want. Right. Because my original statement was that space exploration doesn't have any
You
material
know, if
benefit,
you look at
i.e.
the-
exploring space, not the technology developed as a result
If
of
you look
exploring
at the
space.
formation of the stars and the galaxy Andromeda, you'll see that it spells "fuck you, noob."
Maybe he'll come up with something. Maybe there's something I don't know about.
You know
never
what?
know.
Okay, that's never happened, and we should just drop it and never write in again. Anyway, I have something else to say. it makes me laugh. I spend so much time working hard, trying to appeal to students, get them to pay attention to stuff, engage with the material, and it feels like they're not paying attention. It feels like they don't interact, or maybe I'm just not good at like making them respond. I file their grades 30 fucking seconds later. It's an 89.93. Could you round that up to a 90, please? Could you? They're watching shit. They are paying attention to what matters to them.
Yep.
Grades.
Yep.
God.
Great. There you go, you see. Cody Bordeaux.
Just reply,
no.
Oh, it's a great wine.
In the chat has put Trump 2024. Let's take back this republic.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know. No, let's hope he's being ironic.
Are you trying to get a rise out of me, Agent Kuyan?
I think he is. Okay. I think that's about it. That's all the emails, I think.
I think he means. I don't think he means Donald Trump. I think he means popular snooker player Judd Trump.
Oh, of course. How
all right,
could I
then.
not realize?
I don't understand what that has to do with taking back the republic, but you know.
Yeah, I know he's a big
well, that's
Star
what
Wars
you say
fan.
now. Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
okay. If this gets,
That's
if
what he
word of this
calls
gets out, it
that's
could
what he
generate sympathy for
calls-
the rebellion in the Senate.
That's what he calls it when he plays in the World Championships.
Yeah, that's what he says.
I guess
Oh,
so.
I need to take back the republic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's time for a shout out.
Yeah, let's do
Hey!
that. I'm gonna shout out you two guys this week for being patient with me when I interrupt all the time. I am sorry. I do apologize.
Snack cake for when I
There you go.
exported my second to last class.
Well,
I
Duke,
apologize.
just listen to what happened there. Duke,
Duke's not even paying attention.
Stu is
looking at my snack
apologising for
cake.
being Stu.
I'm apologizing for being
Hey, there's
me.
a first time for everything.
Jeez.
Thank you.
There you
I
go.
forgive you for being Stu. Please don't
Yeah,
be Stu
thanks for
anymore.
paying attention when I was apologizing. Well done.
Thanks
All
for
right.
what?
Chinny, over to you.
Shout out to Fraser and Neil. Good to speak to those guys. Always enjoy having a laugh with them. Yeah, that's about it really.
That's it. That's it.
Highest break of the week this week in snooker was
Oh, go on. What did you get?
48 this week. So I'll try.
That's
and
still
do,
pretty good.
Okay.
That's
try
still
and do
pretty
better
good.
next week. It's okay. It's not great.
It's all right.
I got
It's
in
all
my
right, but
league match. I got a 35 and a 33 and a 20 all in one match. It was like fucking game over as soon as like it took me like 6 minutes. You know, I don't want to brag about it, but you know, whatever.
But
you just did.
Yeah,
But you just did, yeah.
So I'll report back with my highest break every week. But yeah, this week it's about 48. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 100. When's it
That's what
going to
I
be a
want.
century?
Yeah, I need to just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get one of those at some point. Right. Duke.
I'm awake. Right. Yeah, I will shout out Top Boy Summer House because the dog died just like I said it would. God
Yeah.
damn it. I will shout out everybody who sent me very nice messages on Facebook for my birthday. It's weird because that's so formulaic and algorithmic now. It's like this robot told me to say happy birthday. I am saying happy birthday.
It still comes
whatever.
from
but
a
it
good
doesn't
place.
mean
No,
that it's-
actually,
it
can I
does.
just say?
It's just-
No, wait a minute. Whoa.
Put something into it. Do something a little different. Don't just write happy birthday.
Chini actually told me because he thought it was your birthday the day before.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm not talking about individual messages. I'm talking about like just on Facebook, like whatever. Anyway,
It's the 24th. It's the 24th, isn't it? Your birthday, 24th,
25th.
25th.
But
Right.
I don't really care. It doesn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Of course
Anyway,
you don't.
shout out to my student who sent me a very nice message. Shout out to the other student who gave me brownies. Shout out to the Duchess because she's awesome. And shout out to the snowplow company that came and plowed our driveway again this morning because it's been snowing.
Oh, luckily, most of that seems to have passed over here. So
Not us, man. We're drowning in snow.
New.
Shout out to Greta Thunberg because she's awesome. Shout out to my students who turn their work in on time, and those of you who don't. And shout out to Jason Engelsman for trying to get me to appreciate what's his
David
name?
Ernsberger.
David Ernsberger, thank you. Shout out to Chinny.
Why
for
do you
remembering
not
his
remember
guy's
his name? He has the best
he
name
doesn't.
ever.
It does.
It's a great
It does.
name. I'm just bad
He
with
just
names.
sounds
You should
like a
know that.
go-get-'em lawyer. You know what I mean?
You should know that I'm bad with names, Marky.
And can we
Yeah,
just say he has
true.
got quite a smooth voice as
Smooth
well.
voice.
That's
I
true,
mean,
he does.
he could
Amen,
sell me
Simon.
snake
He
oil
does.
any day.
Yeah, he could.
So
Here,
anyway,
by this
yeah, shout out to
pyramid
him and Jason
scheme.
Gallagher for sending emails, which he does a lot, and everybody who's listening, everybody's part of the chat. Thank you for being a part of our community. We love you and you rock. Are we done?
There you go. I think we're done.
Thank you. I can take a break before I do this last class. This is why I always do a paper to-do list, because when I get done, I can rip it up. That's such a
There
good
you
thing.
go.
You can't do that with a digital to-do list, man.
You can
And
just
at the
delete
end of
it.
the school year, sometimes I'll take my to-do list when I finish the last thing for the school year. I'll take it out and burn it.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that. Set it on fire. Why not?
Can't do that on to-do list simulator.
Dance
No, you
round it,
can't.
going, ha!
Yeah, hey, yeah. Suck it, students.
Suck it,
Take that.
students.
Abstract monsters of ignorance.
Hey, by
and
the
apathy.
way, I don't know what did I tell you? I've got my appointment for my ICD assessment next week.
Well, you
In
did
March.
now. You did
So
that
I'm
in
going.
March, okay.
I'm
Well,
going
good
in
luck.
March to
Hope it works
Blackpool.
well.
Blackpool, yay!
Ooh, okay.
It's one of the best specialist hospitals for hearts, apparently. So I'm going there to see
All
some
right.
electronic implanted device specialist.
All right.
So do
You
you have
get
to
it.
have a thing in you?
I do. Well, it's looking likely.
What does that
but
do?
he's
Sucks.
nothing. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, well, that's
uh,
good.
It on a day-to-day basis, it just sits there waiting,
For what?
and then for me to
For
go
something
into
to go
a,
wrong.
for my heart to go into an arrhythmia that it can't get out of. Then it
And
gives
then what
me a
does it do?
shot.
Does it just go,
It goes,
you are having a heart
Your
attack?
heart's fucked up. It should actually say your heart's fucked up. And
Yeah.
if someone gets mad because it's cursing, it's like, never mind that shit. This dude needs medical attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just goes. Bzz. So it constantly monitors 24/7, and every 5 years you have to have the battery changed.
So what does
apparently.
it do? What does it do?
It's basically, the fancy defibrillator machines that you use for people who have a cardiac arrest to bring
So
them
if
back
your
to life.
heart performs in a certain way, it will jolt it back into.
Correct. Yeah, so
Right,
that's
well,
basically what it's there for.
That's basically like having a superpower, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
It's like when Mr.
Dude.
Burns discovers that he's almost dying. And he goes, "So you're saying I'm invincible?"
Oh, no. Even a slight wind.
There
A gust of
are-
wind the
there
wrong way
are-
could kill you.
There are problems with having one of these inserted, though.
Um,
Or issues.
is it
let's say.
rectal problems?
No,
you
no.
turn
So,
into Iron Man.
so I can't ever again go through like security at the airport. They have to pat me down and all that shit.
Nice. Well, that's just a
I-
treat anyway.
Yeah, these are true. I can't. I have to stay as more like in the middle of security barriers at supermarkets and shops and stuff, and not get too close to the magnets in those.
Or
I can't-
start stealing things and just saying it's my
Yeah.
heart.
There
it's
you
my
go.
heart."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't go too close to any large speakers or anything like that. So
Well,
I've gotta
that's-
stay
that's
away.
No
just
more
wise.
808 state concerts.
That's just wise.
Yeah, so
I mean, especially at
concerts-
our age, to get this
Yeah.
Concerts
sound
can be a
in our
problem, but
ears.
only if you get too close to the
Yeah,
the
well,
large speakers.
Why do
at
you
the
keep
stage.
identifying where the dirt is? You can see where the dirt is, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's pretty
what-
obvious.
Show me where the dirt.
so
Oh,
there's-
the screen is orange.
So there is a lot,
Sorry, go on.
and it'll probably be about a month before I can go back to work after having the operation. So.
Well,
Ooh,
you
that's
all
all
you've
right.
just listed there is great things.
I
I want
some
one of
positives.
those.
And I can't drive
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
month either, so you're not allowed to drive for a
Fucking
month.
hell, this
after
sounds
that.
Yeah.
great.
So there are a few
well,
biggish
you ride a magic
things that
carpet?
go along with having one of these. But and ultimately, there is one massive thing that you've got to consider as well.
Massive.
Um,
What? Bigger penis?
which
Poop
is
tastes like asparagus.
if you're ever at end of life, right? Those,
Well,
you're
when
going
you
to-
get to the end of your life,
No, 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 so-
if you
so
ever
it's-
reach to the point where
No.
you die,
So
I'm
there's
just
this-
kidding. If you get to the hospice stage,
yeah, hospice stage because of my heart and stuff.
You have a
you have to
self-destruct
have-
button.
No, you have to have it. You have to have it deactivated.
Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
Because
Otherwise, it just
basically,
be whoop whoop whoop.
yeah.
all
So
day.
basically, what can happen? Well, not so much
keeps
that,
you
but
alive
can-
till you're
it-
208.
It'll just keep bringing you back every time you
Yeah.
have another heart.
I'm
or
trying to
cardiac
die.
arrest, it will bring you back again and again, which causes a lot of distress, apparently.
Yes, I imagine so.
Yes.
Which I could imagine. So yeah, there's shit to think about. Having
Well,
one.
you,
It's
you,
not
you
just-
die and you go to St. Peter at the gate and then you just vanish again. And then you die again and you go,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I've got...
Oh,
Hey,
it's back.
St. Peter,
Oh,
can you
he's
see me
dead.
now?
Oh, it's
Hey.
back.
Listen, you are on the list to go in, but I'm not going
Yeah.
to let you in if you keep fucking going back and,
Yeah.
I don't fancy you going off either. Apparently, if it goes off, it's like being kicked in the chest.
It's,
it's quite-
if it's that or death,
it's
I'll take the
quite a
kick.
thing.
Right, exactly.
No, no,
Like,
no,
that's
but I
the
mean, just in
least bad
general.
option.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it never goes off.
Well, yeah,
But
that would be my
apparently
hope
you,
too.
you're more likely to get them when you're young than when you're old because they can't because it's so expensive. They don't put them in old people.
You usually don't want to bother with
Isn't
someone
that
who's
nice?
about to kick it.
Well, that's
You're
it.
special,
dude.
Stu.
It costs 20 grand apparently to put one of these in, so it's a lot
Well,
of money.
Shit.
I suppose they look at like how long.
Well, it's life expectancy.
Yeah, life
versus
expectancy.
cost.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're like 80, it's like, well, are we going to pay?
It's like, for instance, I don't know whether you know this. This is a thing, but say, if you go for a hip replacement,
they dish those out now willy dilly.
they do and they don't. But if you're old, you get like a pretty shit prosthetic. You get the
Oh,
cheapest
dear.
one they've got because it's almost like, well, there's no
Yeah,
point putting
no point.
an expensive one in because they're not potentially going to live that long.
Yeah, my auntie Norma, that sort of triggered her whole dementia really before she passed away, and she
Yeah.
had a hip replacement, and they probably put like I don't know, like a tennis ball and a fucking
They do. They put
Yeah.
they're like, for instance, if it were cars, you get like, I don't know, a Vauxhall Corsa.
Yeah.
Slug.
If you're old, if you're young, you get like a Tesla.
oh yeah, Tesla. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get like a more expensive one because you don't want to have to
They
replace
just
it. too
like
soon
with
either.
like older people, they just what we've got lying around. We've got like a spoon and like a
It is. That's basically.
just put that
But
in.
it's the same with
Dull
it's the
little
same with
head, no.
heart disease. If you're over 70, they won't even consider you
Oh.
for a heart
Oh
replacement.
God,
you
I
know?
just remembered that I've got like a really funny story. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
go on. That's
About
all
an
right.
old person needing a
About
heart
an old
replacement.
person.
No,
getting
no,
a
no.
spoon.
So like we make all sorts of videos at work, right? We have like videos
Yes.
for this and that. and that.
Oh yeah, you
and
do.
yeah, it's never porn. It's never porn. Right. So this we don't usually it's B2B. We're a B2B business to business
Right.
business, right? So, but like now and again we come across people that have a project or a product and they want to make a video for it. And sometimes they
Right.
get like a bit of funding from some scheme, or you know what I mean, like, and like, oh, we got a bit of
Yeah,
funding
yeah.
for this, and it's got to go towards marketing, and then that's when we get involved, right? So this couple come in, and they're really, really lovely, and they're very sort of serious because they work in hospitals and stuff, and they've come up with this invention about when a woman is giving birth,
Right.
there are swabs, right, and they use these swabs. But sometimes incisions have to be made for the birth canal to be wider and all this sort of stuff. And swabs are used, and sometimes these swabs will get lost into the woman. Right, this is a real problem.
Oh no.
This is a
Yeah,
real problem.
Count in,
Ver-
count out.
yeah, counting, count out. It's a very, very serious problem, and it sometimes costs the NHS a lot of money because sometimes swabs get left behind and it ends up costing them a lot more money and it causes a lot of distress for the mom and
It's
everything.
called.
Yeah.
Do you know what that's called, by the way, Ginny? There's a special term that the
Go on,
NHS.
go
Well,
on.
Nasty
however,
obliviousness.
it's called a never event because
Never.
it should never happen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
called
So
never events.
this couple, one's like a high up in the NHS, and the other one's a doctor, and you know, bear in mind this they're super serious, and they and I'm always sort of joking
yeah.
and stuff. So like they don't really know how to laugh in a meeting because they never have meetings where they laugh because it's always like so serious. So I sort of get a
serious.
sense of like they're sort of relaxing, but they're like, okay, this is okay. And then they have like this box, and they bring this model out of a woman's vagina, right?
Brilliant.
And they're
I
putting
can
it
just
on,
imagine you.
right? And like they're like, you know, it's got like attachments and stuff. And I
Did
just
you
start
start going twat? I couldn't hear you.
I just start laughing, and I go like, "You having problems with that vagina?" And they start laughing and stuff. And then they show me where like the cut would be. Sometimes they have to cut.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of gross, so I'm sorry, but
It's
they cut-
usually underneath, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's like, you know, from one hole to the
From
other,
your
right?
anus,
And
yeah,
and
pretty
like
much.
and I saw the cut and I went, Jesus Christ, like that really loud. Right, and she burst out laughing, this woman. And she said like, we don't really have meetings where we have this much fun. And I'm like, yeah, well, sorry, but this is
Woo,
this
welcome
is
to Stone Throw, baby.
this is
Yeah, we
and
have
she's-
this fun
just a
all the
stone's
time.
throw
at
away
the
from fun.
at the end of the meeting, she says, "Look, this is one of the best meetings I've ever had." But like, she basically
you should
her
put that on your advertising
You got the
materials.
job
we usually
then,
don't
did
have
you?
this much fun. in
well,
meetings.
I don't know, but like her invention is like there's like the swabs are connected to a clip which tells you how many you've took off. So you
Right.
so there's 5 on the clip.
Yeah,
So
you
if
count
there's
five in,
two
5
missing,
out.
it's clear. And she says, "Oh,
Yeah.
they
Get
usually
back
write
in there.
they usually write it on a whiteboard, but sometimes there could be 2 women giving birth. But this gives you a good visual representation of like this. So it's a good invention. It
Is
just
a good idea.
But
There
like
there
he was poking away at this model fanny, and like because Matt was with me as well,
You do.
and Matt like he he knows this is funny, but he doesn't quite know how to
Yeah, he
break
can be
the
quite serious.
break the
with that
barrier of
manner,
like,
can't
how do I acknowledge? How do I make this?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sort of like,
You don't want to make the wrong step.
yeah, and I'd love to take the risk. Do you know what I mean? I like to take the risk of like,
We
let's
hadn't
just
noticed
try
that
it.
about you.
But they were lovely. They were really funny, and obviously it's funny, isn't it? You're poking like a fake vagina. It's funny.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
funny. It's a funny thing to laugh. Like the work
is
is too
funny.
serious,
It is an absurd situation.
Of course,
You know, it's a
you know.
serious product. It's a serious concern. But
and it
that is
will
serious.
be hilarious when we make the video. Don't worry about that.
Well, there was
With the Benny Hill music in behind.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? In fact, you could have just someone like Benny Hill counting in and counting out.
Yeah.
Can you
yeah.
imagine?
Or we can use
Yeah.
some of Stu's sound effects to get, like when
There
you
you
lose
go.
the swab, it's all.
Whoop, whoop, woo.
Hey, what's
Oh,
going on?
dear.
Where did the swabs go?
I don't. You see.
There was actually on a more serious note, there was one in the paper the other day where they've had to pay compensation to someone because
Yeah.
they left a pair of forceps inside.
Yeah, we've made an animation for this couple, so we've known them before, and it
Or
was
like
it was-
tweezers. I
yeah,
don't know,
and
we'll
it's
have to
about
look
that.
inside
Yeah,
it.
Animation.
yeah, it's about that. And sometimes the risk of me trying to make something like heart, it doesn't always work. Like this also happened this week where this woman. This is quite common as well. We filmed somewhere, so we were filming at a food bank, like for this like community sort of project. And this woman says, "Oh, I don't want to be in the film." And I says, "Well,
Too
what if
bad,
we?"
lady.
And I said, "Too tough shit. This is fucking
You're
shit."
already in it.
And I said, "No, you know what? But we didn't have a lot of people to help, so I was like, what if we film like your hands sort of sorting the food?" And she said, "Yeah, that's fine, but can you not film the back of my hoodie?" And I was like, "Why? Like, what are you
She's
hiding,
on the run
right?"
from an abusive partner.
Like, what I said, "What you hiding?" as a sort of joke,
Yeah.
and she says, "Oh, like these hoodies are dedicated to my dead daughter." And I went,
Oh, Jesus.
okay." And she sort of sensed that I put my foot in it, and she says, "Oh no, it's a good cause and everything." And I said, "Oh, I said that's great," and I moved on very very quickly. And,
Yeah, I bet you
so,
did.
So sometimes I take the risk and it doesn't pay off. But
Yeah,
she
it
was
doesn't
she
pay off.
didn't she didn't hate me. She just knew that I didn't know. That's all.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
just knew that I didn't know. So yeah, it's all fun. Some
Yeah.
work is it can be a strange situation.
Interesting.
Sometimes, like
interesting.
honestly, sometimes I'm in calls and I'm like, they're talking about the nacelle system of a jet engine and why the reverse thrusters act this way, and I write on a notepad in front of Matt and I go, "What the fuck are they talking about?" And I pass it to him on the thing,
Yeah.
and he has to not laugh. But sometimes though, I say that to the engineers that are talking. I go, "Just to let you
Yeah.
know, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about," because
Well,
they're
yeah,
all
'cause you don't
super
need to.
serious. And I'm the one.
And they just assume you
Yeah,
do.
and I said, "Look, like you're all super clever." It's like a compliment and also like a kind of insult at the same time. It's like you're all super
Yeah.
clever, but you're not clever enough to spot the fact that I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've
Well,
no idea.
And they just relax and they go, "Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, we talk about this all day and like whatever." So
By the way, Chinny, how's the house going? When you're moving in?
it could be middle of Feb.
Wow.
now.
Oh my
It's getting
God, it's
close.
getting close.
There is
Kind of
dates.
close.
February during your next show.
There is
There are
dates
dates being bandied about,
bandied
are there?
about, yeah, like around Valentine's Day, that sort of
exciting.
week, yeah. So
Wow,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
yes, so
How's the sailor yours? I'm assuming is going smoothly with no issues.
we're in a chain of 5.
Oh God.
Yes.
It's a bit of a nightmare. It's always a nightmare, isn't it?
So it's just sorting a day out that will fit everybody. So, but it's so far so good. I've even had
So is the chain on your side or on the other side?
both.
Or both. Yeah.
both,
So
both.
some at one
We're
end,
in the
some at the
middle.
other.
We're in the middle. If this was an orgy, we'd be in the middle of it. You know what I mean?
You're in the middle of.
We're right
so
in
you
the
got
middle of it.
2 on one side.
We've
and
got 2
on the
cocks
other.
here and boobs on the left and like
Yeah,
arse on the yeah, there's everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, and I've even the lads that I
Oh
play.
my God.
The lads
Have you
that
seen what Red Van
Just
Man?
showed up next to me, like standing here in the dark, holding up packets of seeds. Hi, Duchess.
Have you seen what Red Van Man's put in the chat? He went, I delivered loads of letters to one address. Someone opened the door as I was stuffing the letters in. I said, "Whoa, someone's having a lovely birthday." And the sad face replied, "It's my dad's funeral."
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, what can you do? They
Yeah.
can't get
Thank
mad
you,
that you don't
Duchess.
know. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
it's
they can't.
just-
They can't get mad.
We're almost done here. They just won't shut up about their fucking jobs.
Yeah. Well, sorry,
I'm not saying that's about my job.
Mister. I have to grade 1,000 papers every week.
Fucking every week when we're doing the podcast, that's like you're talking about your job constantly.
Yeah.
I mention it in passing and then keep
You mention it
moving.
every
It's been a
week.
20-minute.
So-
I'm not
This
saying
is the
I don't,
first
but it's like
time.
30 seconds max.
This is the first time Cheese
Yeah, we're
talks
getting-
about
we're
his job
getting-
in ages, so he's making up for it.
and
Yeah,
it's
I don't
after
like-
the show. I don't really mind. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about my job because people have like real jobs where they work hard and stuff. So like, you know.
Fair enough. I just want to let everyone know why I'm.
Hey, I'll tell you what,
so much
Chinny, that
attention.
temple's looking pretty nice now. It's
I'm
cleaned up
getting
a bit.
there. I'm getting there. Yeah.
It does
yeah.
look lovely, doesn't it? It's a
Yeah.
lovely design.
Yes. So, yeah. But luckily, the chaps that I play snooker with in my snooker team, everybody's a builder in the club. I don't know why, but everybody's a fucking builder. All right. So they're all like, I've got a van. So I've got like 2 guys with 2 vans.
Oh,
helping me
that's
move.
cool.
Yeah,
So you've got someone to help you move
and
and
they,
stuff.
and I said, like, I'll give you some money, and they was like, you don't have to give us money for it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So they've been really, really nice. But I will get them something. I'll
Aw.
get them a drink.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what
Yeah, but like, so yeah, it's exciting. You know, things are happening.
It'll soon come now.
Yay.
It'll soon come. It just takes ages though, doesn't it? It's all the faffing around.
Yeah, so there might be a week or two where I might be in an echoey room, or I might be on my laptop
Yeah.
or something like that soon, where I might have to get Duke to host the show or something. But yeah,
You'll
just
soon.
next
What with
week,
all
I ain't
them
around
rooms,
next
you'll
week.
soon be set up. I tell you.
yeah, next week
Yeah,
nothing
there
else. But
you go.
like mid-Feb, there might be like one episode or something where Duke might have to host.
Yeah.
Good to know.
It
Good to
depends.
know.
I mean, like, it doesn't take that long to set up a fucking bit, but it's the internet, isn't it? That's the thing. Isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
setting up
getting
the
that
internet, so-
connected up and shit. You'll have
So
to.
we'll see.
You'll have to have it off your phone, won't you? Something, I guess.
Yeah, it won't be so bad, but like hosting the show, like streaming it, I wouldn't be able to do. From
Yeah,
my
you won't be
phone.
able to do that.
I'll be able
no,
to
you
like
won't.
call in on my
No,
phone.
you can. No, but you can use your phone for the internet, but it'd probably be a bit of a pain.
Well,
setting
that might
everything
be hard
else up.
still to host it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can
Yeah.
use it to
yeah,
buddy
I-
up off.
yeah. So if Duke hosted it and I was just tethering on my phone and we just did the show
Yeah.
like that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. We'll
We'll
see. We'll
figure it
Yeah,
out.
we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Right, I guess I better go and let you
All
guys
right.
go.
Mm,
Yeah. Have a good evening, everybody.
So speak to you next
have a good week. Without me, I'm
Yeah,
almost
we'll-
certainly not going to be here. There's a chance that I will not be there at the thing, but we're going to see when we get closer to
Well,
it.
I hope
'cause
you-
It
why
depends
would
on
you-
how the
why would
roads
you not
are. I
go?
can't find a
Fun.
place to charge my car.
Is that why you wouldn't go? Because the roads and the car. And...
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta go,
Oh.
man. You gotta go. That'll
Yeah,
be
you
fun.
gotta go.
I want to
man.
go, but I'm just saying, like, it's possible we'll get more snow, and I'm not trying to end up in a crash on
No,
the
no,
interstate.
you obviously don't
My
go if
ego
it's
is
dangerous.
panel, but
Yeah, don't go
you
if
know,
it's
whatever. We'll
dangerous.
see. I almost certainly will be going. So
Okay, good
FYI.
stuff. And we will
Yeah.
get a replacement.
Is it
for you.
like
Okay.
like recorded or streamed or anything? Or
yeah, it'll be done on a podcast somewhere. So I'll let you
Okay.
know when it comes out.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll have a listen.
Yeah. All right. Have a good week.
All right,
2
you
weeks.
two have a good week.
Yeah, peace out.
Chinny,
See
and
you
see you later.
laters.
Bye. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, bye.
Bye.
Okay. I will finish this. Not tonight though. I just want to finish the floor. no matter how far, couldn't be much more from the home. Forever, just